little. Bavuma made so little fuss of that catch.
Everyone did.
He just made it look so easy.
And over on Facebook Live, Robert Gabb says, another great catch by Temba Bavuma. Yes, it was. And Mog has joined us and says, I'm not really watching, but I did want to comment, because he's commenting from his disinterested hand job account.
Yeah, I was going to say, disinterested hand job on Facebook has said, hi, not really watching, but I did want to comment as well. So, hello
Mog.
there. Hey, Mog. And Robert Gadd said, another great...
And we are back. Final session of the second test from Lords, 5th day. Jack Leach is going to continue after tea, which is an interesting decision to make, I suppose. Maybe they think the wicket is quite dead, to be honest, except for with a new ball. And it's only Archer's Express Post is going to do something. Archer's got 35 minimum overs remaining. That's probably all they'll get in, to be honest. And if these two can stick together for 10, 15 overs, pretty much done, I reckon.
I don't mind seeing Leach given a chance, though, with a combination of the seamers at the other end.
No, his strike rate's 50, 49 in the second innings.
Yeah, averages under 20 as well.
Indeed. Well, he's over the wicket to continue. Padded up. Ooh,
not most of the time shot, that one.
No, most of the time
that was pitched in line, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it probably pitched just outside, and that was his bet. Well, would have gone on to hit the stumps, but no one appealed, so they obviously thought it was outside leg stump. Lavishane's on 17 or 27. They're on 46 for 2. That one is whipped behind square on the leg side. Presumably there is a man. It's broad out in the deep. Down on the square leg boundary. Lavishane will get himself off strike. We want 18. I've got under 50. I've got 2 in a row. I lost the next one. They're offering me about 14 runs per wicket.
You're regressing to the mean, are you?
Well, yeah. Basically, I would have won 2 and lost 2 if this one doesn't work out. Which has happened a lot this test. I've never got ahead. But if England win, I'm in the gravy.
Yeah, I backed England at 7-1 yesterday. Much bigger prices today when the rain came down first thing.
Well, yeah, I got 4-1 on day 1, I think. And we were in a bit of trouble. And I got 12-1 this morning. Just a small little extra sprinkle on the goodness.
I also backed Australia at 9-4 in the first test. So there we are.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm not just a home better.
Well, there you go. Well, I did say that was a good bet on the last day of that test. Bancroft works that out to mid-wicket, and there is no run. He's coming around the wicket, so he's decided he's going over the wicket to Labuschagne and around the wicket to Bancroft. Interesting. That one's floated up too full, and it's easy for Bancroft to just defend out into the covers, and there's no run. Have we got any hellos after tea?
Yeah, absolutely. Umpire Bell has suggested to people that they listen to and watch Guerrilla Cricket.
Well, of course you should.
On umpirebell.com.
Well, there you go. Ooh, that one turns off the actual wicket, but it's a little bit too short. Seems to die a bit in the wicket, so I didn't bounce. Anyway, defended by Bancroft out to the offside, and there's no run. And
the pronunciation of Labuschagne. Arthur says it's only Manus Labuschagne if it comes from the Labuschagne region of France. Otherwise, it's just sparkling Hanscom.
What? Oh, that's out! That's got to be out! And it is out! Oh my word, Bancroft's gone back, and the one that's kept low, has kept low, round the wicket is our man Leach. Pitches on about off stump, just dies on the pitch, goes straight on. He goes back into his crease to defend it, goes under his bat, hits his pad in front of middle and off. It's going on to hit middle, and that's a breakthrough straight after Teal. I bet came in, Grubby, under 50, sweet gravy.
Sleeping Muppet.
Yeah,
Sleeping Muppet.
Can Leach do a lion? That's the question.
Well, great start from
rubbish
him.
in the third innings and go for 100.
Well, yes.
Well, not rubbish, sorry, but unluckily.
Yeah.
Well, if it's squatting from out there, I mean, the thing is, lion has to bowl outside the off stump, and it squats unless it turns sharply. It's not going to come back to hit the stumps.
Yeah, let me give you a couple of shouts for the watchers on Crick Tracker. So, Mausam Bajaj says, hello, this is a draw. Well, that wicket there might just spice things up a little bit, Mausam. Thank you for watching. M. Rahman Watandust also with us with a little, some sort of little bunny rabbit type emoji blowing a kiss, which is rather sweet. And some other emojis that you can't really make out. And who else is with us? We have Madhukar Butt. Hi friends, hello to you Madhukar, and once again thank you all of you watching us on all the viewing platforms.
Hello you all. Australia 200-1 now.
Well, one of the things that does do is that one more wicket and we're pretty much guaranteed to go all the way to 7 o'clock, I think.
Yes,
exactly what we wanted. It was a quick wicket after tee to prolong the
Quick
tension.
3 would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Under 62 and a half. 50,
Anyway.
I'm
Yeah,
going.
it's 15
I'm
every
going.
time. You're doing it, aren't you?
Yeah.
You wouldn't care if it was 51, would you, at this point?
Well, no, you got to follow your instincts. Yeah, I mean, it hit him just in line with off stump. It's going on to hit middle and off.
I mean,
it's extraordinary.
Watching this as a batsman, you think, you've got no chance of that, have you? 'Cause
No.
he just grubbed straight through.
That and
It's
some
hitting
dude thrown at your head at 93
shin
miles
height
an hour.
again, but the archer from the other end. Life is
Yay!
not fair. Who says it's a batsman's game?
Who said indeed? No, I like a spicy wicket. I'm a bowler. Archer is in. First ball is very full, and Labuschagne defends back up the track, and there's no run.
They'll be pouring in the Labuschagne if he manages to save this Test match
Well,
for
they
Australia.
will do, won't they?
Jay Grover says, I know far more too much than I care to about John Tyndall and the British nationalist movement. I'm not surprised the book was self-published. I discard it. Bear's joy is, however, infectious.
All right, thank you. Who's John Tyndall?
He's some dude who set up, well, he's a man who set up the BNP.
Oh, short. And Labuschagne rocks his head out of the way, and it goes through to Bairstow, and is no run.
I think they might be just overdoing this slightly to Labuschagne, because he's been shown quite good technique in leaving the ball, not chasing it with his hands as it's just outside off
absolutely.
stump.
Yeah,
I think you need to play it fuller and attack the stumps a bit
Yeah,
more.
well, he started off with a sort of slower, fuller one, didn't he, to start the over, and maybe thinking, oh, now I'll soften him up.
Well,
You need some variety, definitely.
absolutely. Well, that's a decent shot by Labuschagne. As he gets forward to that one, it's reasonably full. It's driven. Wokes chases it out to the boundary. They'll probably get back for 2. They'll think about 3, but they don't. Travis Head will be the new man. And he's a lefty, which I'm sure Leach won't mind bowling and have the rough outside his off stump. Get one of those to keep low from out there. There's a good chance of trapping him,
Well,
LB.
it's not just
too.
low, the bounce and the extra turn out the footholes. It makes cutting anything that's short of a length very, very dangerous.
And most lefties now get used to the right-handed bowler turning it away from him. It might be quite nice. He'll have to think about it coming back in. Would he be able to leave the ones that... He won't be able to leave the ones that are wide outside his off stump, because they'll be coming back in. And he could get bowled, which would be a nice thing to see. Totally partisan, that's the Bear. Archer in, and that's a good lead by Labuschagne. He's looked alright, actually, to be fair, apart from getting sconned on his first ball. He's left the ball pretty well. Certainly gets a better position than Smith, let's be honest. Probably because he's side on when he's facing the bowler.
Grubby thinks that Bear, referring to himself in the third person, is a little de trop. Lennox Lear says, that Bear beer breakout was the best argument this week for you spending some of that money you win betting on a noise gate.
Well, no, we do have one actually, but that was more angled down leg side, and there is no run. And I used to put them on all the mics actually, compressors and gates. But these mics don't actually ever sort of overload, to be honest. I mean, it might do in your head, but it certainly doesn't overload the desk. And weirdly, the desk that we're using doesn't have any insert points on the master, so I'd have to go back to put them on all the mics, which I might do. But hey ho, we'll see.
Sorry, I drifted off when you started talking tech.
I did, yeah.
Bear
Sorry.
does science.
Yeah, Labuschagne faces up to Archer, who defends that square on the offside, and there is no run.
Smouty says, so basically I've missed all the Ashes matches thus far. Yes, I know what's been happening, which makes it rather painful to have missed it. Well, good to have you back, Smouty. Where have you been?
Indeed, where have you been?
And what have you been doing? And with whom? And for how often? And how much did it cost?
Yeah.
Ravi Nair, do we dare dream, he says, at the fall of that wicket. Peter Lloyd, a quick 8 would be perfect. Meaning number of wickets, presumably. Well, only 7 to go, Peter.
I think we can get another quick one now, and then we have a 20-minute hiatus followed by another one. That'd be 3 in the first half hour. I think that'd be good news.
And that would set up the series quite nicely,
It
says
would.
Lennox Lear.
I think even if they get out of this with a draw, I think it would set up the series quite nicely. We come back quite well. Both sides aren't batting too well.
And this man is now at the crease and will face.
She's such a hunk, so full of spunk. Hell,
I like being a little edge on, man.
till you're burning up. Hell, till you get enough. Hell, till your love is red. Hell.
Some lovely.
Lovely bit of Prince there. He's a funky man, he was. He was a funky man.
Yeah.
Leach is going to come over the wickets ahead. There's a leg slip. Oh, and he has a big E first ball. There's a leg slip. There is a short leg. There is a slip. And the first ball is tossed up outside his off stump, and he goes to slog sweep it.
I mean, this is
Not a bad plan. that.
horrible,
It's not-
horrible for a left-hander, isn't it? This.
Yeah.
Because he's got all of his body outside the line, so if it hits him having missed it, he's
Well-
playing a shot and it won't be given out. The only worry is the ball will bounce out of the
Well, if it
and go
turns
straight up.
sharp enough, it still might hit the inside of that pad, which he goes deep in his crease there, plays it off about middle and off stump, down to the leg swick route, and there's no run.
Jay Grover wants to be told about more about decent lefties, so I've just suggested Graham Pollock. I don't think that's what he meant there.
Nah. Head faces up to Leach. He's got 1 for 2 and 2.2 overs. Tosses that up, comes back into him. He goes in his crease. I'd rather be playing forward to this, to be honest, because you never know when it's going to turn and how much. But he goes back, takes his bottom hand off, defends it, just drops it out on the offside.
Well, the reason they tend to play back a lot more now is it gives them just that extra amount of time to spot how much it does turn.
Yeah, but if you
So
get
they
one that
can
keeps low,
adjust, but
if you get one that
yeah,
keeps low,
you've got
as
no chance.
happened to Bancroft, then yeah, you're a bit stuffed.
it's the time more than anything else, I think.
Leach is in over the wicket. Another attempted sweep, missed everything, and it's going to run away for 4 byes. That's really annoying.
Well, I think Bairstow left that because he thought he was going to bowl him.
Yeah, it's too wide. It wasn't. ever
he's a
gonna bowl.
wicket keeper. He's got to get himself in the way. I mean,
Yeah, well, exactly. At least you get your pads in the way.
4 byes then.
Yeah,
I thought he might have got something on it actually. But flick his glove maybe.
I don't know. It's too wide of his off stump to be coming back that far. Missed the stumps by a while, didn't away. Yeah.
If you land that in the rough though, even though it's that wide, anything can happen. It can spin a mile. It can keep low. It can bounce.
Well, exactly.
Just keep giving it a chance, Leachy.
Indeed. Just toss it up into it and see what happens. Well, it's been hard for Head starting out here. That ball's flat. He does keep low. Spins back a bit. Jabs his bat down on it. Goes out to short third man. He swallows. His mouth might be dry. He's feeling the pressure.
Well, he's doing as good a job as anyone for Australia at the minute, trying to save this Test match, isn't he?
Well, he is indeed.
Some of the more established names have not managed to stay out there as long as he has.
Yep. And Head faces up. Final ball of Leach's third over. And that one does come back again and does keep low once more. He jabs his bat down again on it, goes out on the offside, fielded by the slip, ends the over. That was a wicket maiden, wasn't it?
I think he might
No.
be.
I think it was.
He
Well,
might-
there's 4 byes.
The 4 byes don't count against him, yeah.
The wicket was in the over before.
It was, yeah. And it rolls on so quickly,
Oh, God,
this
yeah,
game.
it
But
does.
I'm agreeing with Grubby, I think, on his selection choice of no sending it off.
Yeah, you've got to.
You've got to have
Gotta have
no.
it.
You've got to
Trying
have
to win a game, you've got to force a result.
The 4 men dotted round it
Yep.
in an X formation, so there's no safe area for you to put
Bunt
the
it.
ball into.
Well, Archer's going to continue.
Let me tell you before, Evil Scooters has put us towards an article by, he calls him the brilliant Vitushan, who works at CricViz.
Vish.
Yep, Vish. Indicated wickets are falling in Test cricket at a quicker rate in terms of balls than any time since 1922,
This is
except
true.
for Steve Smith. Bumrah, Rabada and Geedy, Cummins, Broad, Bolt and now Archer savour this era.
Indeed. This is what I heard the other day. In fact, that's them spouting on about it on Sky. Defended by Labuschagne. Back down the track, no run.
Little mathematical equation from Ravi. Ha! Our bald spinner is greater than their bald spinner.
Currently,
In this match, I suppose, yeah. Over the long period, though.
yes.
Still early days for Leach.
Well, Wade's in next. Get through Wade and Payne. Could be quite fun. Ooh, fished at by Labuschagne. Playing away from his body. Just beats his outside edge and through the Bairstow and there's no run. Yeah, I think I'd go with Jace here for most of this over. I try and keep it pretty full and maybe shove one in later right at the end towards the end of the over, 5th or 6th ball. 31.4 minimum overs lane. That's full and outside off stump, left alone. They're not going to play anything that's not on the stumps though, are they?
No, I hesitate to read this tweet out from Mark Zip. Zippo has gone all techie on us as well.
Uh-huh.
If, as you say, those mics don't overload and there's no place on the desk for gates or limiters, why not put the limiter in the chain after the desk? This would not help with perceived overload, but would normalise louder people and jingles. Gary Naylor, meanwhile, says, isn't Anderson taking more per test than anyone? Wickets, obviously.
That's too wide. Bye. Archer, and Labuschagne just leaves it, and Berso takes it in front of third slip, and there's no run. Yeah, but then we wouldn't be able to hear what the outcome was, because we hear it directly off the desk. That's why you put it on the inserts, Mr. Zip.
So there you go, Zippo. Linux Leah says, Leach's face and teeth remind me of Beetlejuice from Howard Stern. Jamie Kemp says, many thanks to Gorilla Cricket for the gym overs today, as in he's been in the gym. Couldn't celebrate Stokes' ton as I was in the squat rack with 95 kg on my back.
That squares up Labuschagne, who defends it quite nicely in the end out to point, and there is no run.
That's more likely because he went slightly wider and bowled it into him, so he had to play at it. Could have done with just being a little bit full of those, even so.
Yeah, 95 kg, Jamie. You nutter. Oh no, maybe they have bigger balls nowadays. Re the wickets. Come on, take it seriously. You're going to enter the conversation.
Archer, last ball of the over. Oh, gets him in the box. And there's overthrows. Overthrows? Yeah, surely.
No, that was a superb piece of fielding, I thought, by... Let's see what they score. But I thought...
What happened there? So it got... Yeah,
No,
it went
it
down to
didn't.
overthrows. It did go for overthrows. Score moves on to 53. And it went for a run, crazily. And Burns had a lance down at the bowler's end.
Oh, he's gone if it hits.
If it hit, I think it was quite
It was
a way
miles
off,
away,
it was
mind.
miles
But
away.
yeah, it was worth a shy, definitely.
I don't know why Head called him through. Labuschagne really wasn't moving at all. And if it had been a direct hit, it would have been a run out. Which would be quite entertaining. 58 for 3.
Was that end up being 4 overthrow leg buys then? Must have been.
Something like that.
Yeah.
58 for 3. Not going to be chasing 267. I think we can rule that out, can't we?
And Labuschagne will get to face Leach, who will come over the wicket to him. He's obviously seen something that means he wants to come over the wicket to the right-handed Labuschagne.
Well, I think it forces him to either pad or play it more often than if he's bowling.
Yeah, but he went round the wicket to Bancroft, which turned out to be the right thing to do because he got him LBW. But I don't know why he doesn't do that to Labuschagne. He must have studied
Well,
him.
Bancroft shuffles across his stumps. I don't think Labuschagne does to the same amount.
Possibly. And you can bowl it at the stump, so you shouldn't be shuffling across really anyway. And it's a spinner. Anyway, tosses it up into the rough. I think it was probably pad only. There's a man short on the 45. It goes to him and there's no run.
The gum-chewing Labuschagne.
Yeah, they all gum chew in Australia, isn't they? Chomp away. Labuschagne faces up, 20 non out, 58 for 3. And Leach is into that rough and it comes out just in front of the man at short leg.
You're really enjoying this as a fellow left-arm
Well,
spinner,
I am,
aren't you?
yeah. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, this is it. The Russell's outside the leg stump, which you really want outside the off stump.
Or be bowling at a left-hander.
Yeah, I don't like bowling over the wicket to lefty myself. That one spins sharply, though. You'd be tempted with this much. He gets on top of it, though. Goes deep in his crease. Labuschagne, soft hands, drops it in. It goes on the bounce to the man at silly point.
You don't bowl over the wicket to left-handers?
I mean, to the left-handers I do. Sorry,
Yeah.
to right-handers I meant. I never liked particularly bowling over the wicket. I never liked the ball turning into the batsman. That's too full and swept by Labuschagne. But there is the man on 45 and there's no run. I always liked the ball turning away from the bat. And so bowling to lefties was always really annoying.
Well, this could kill the game quite quickly.
You don't normally get the wear you get on test match wickets on a Saturday afternoon.
Some of the heavy lads that play, you do.
On 100 overs. Clipped into the leg side. Broad is going to chase it. They go for 1. They'll stick at 1. Score is on 59 for 3.
I want to say hello to Shani Yadav, who says hello on Crick Tracker. Also says England win. And then some mad person called MD Mohibullah Hassan still thinks Australia are going to win.
Really?
Well, regardless of your ludicrous opinion, you're very welcome.
230 overs. T20s. You get 220 overs. They've lost 3 wickets though, and they don't have their star batsman in the Pigstone. He's out. Leach over the wicket to Head, who defends that stoutly, gets right forward, into the offside, fielded by Leach. And there is no run, ends that over 59 for 3.
Evil Scooters doesn't think Jimmy Anderson's going to be playing that many more tests than the recently retired Dale Steyn, although Gary Naylor reckons that Jimmy will be back by Old Trafford at the latest.
Wow.
And Fishy Paul, having one of these, i.e. a Costello lager, with fingers crossed for an unlikely victory. Not seen any cricket pitches by Lake Como, but it'd be a batsman's dream, although would turn square on the 5th day.
Yeah, nice.
Is it very hard, is it? Very
Can
hard,
someone-
abrasive surfaces?
Can someone out there bring me another one of these rather fine San Miguels? It's getting late in the day, and I'm just
And the bear's thirsty.
absolutely
Not helped, of course, by seeing people delivering pints in the members area at Lord's.
Absolutely, in the egg and
we are.
bacons.
Um,
Is that a woman in an egg and bacon? I thought they weren't allowed.
what? What's the world coming to?
Archer's going to continue bowling to Labuschagne, and there's a short leg slip, 2 slips, and that goes out to mid wicket, and there's no run. I think he probably wants a little bit of a go at head, doesn't he, Archer?
Oh, I'm not going to say what I'm thinking. Mushy Bees has been put right by Captain Mike Yates. Mushy Bees has been checking various sites and things to keep up with the score. He says, listen to Guerrilla Cricket instead of staring at the BBC website, you fool. I added the fool bit.
Indeed. Oh, that again is into the chest. 88 miles an hour. He's so languid to do that, and just pops out to short leg, no run.
It's been quietly impressive by Labuschagne.
Yeah,
he's
totally.
considering he got sconed on the first ball. He has been quite impressive. Warner looks like he's about to cry.
Well, 4 single-figure scores and dropping a couple of catches yesterday will do that for you.
And Langer looks upset. Archer in, bowls. Labuschagne gets down again. And I presume that's Butler, isn't it?
Yeah.
Short leg. Slightly forward, and he's a little bit deep, sort of James Taylor position. I did ask for a beer. Is that beer coming?
I think you'll find I asked for it. Maybe you didn't hear me. What I was going to say, do you think it's possible that part of the reason Warner's looking so glum is that the management have told him he's been dropped for the next game?
No.
Is it possible?
They can't drop him when
They can't drop
Smith's
him when
not
Smith's
going to
out.
be fit to
you'd
play.
have thought. That's clipped leg side out to deep mid wicket. There isn't one at deep mid wicket. There's a man behind square. It's Leach. He's going to get round there. They'll get back for 2. Will they try the 3rd?
I think they've got an easy 3 there.
It does look that way.
But Warner's averaging 4.5 in this series. I mean,
Overall, he averages 47.
Yeah, what's Root
yeah,
averaging?
Indeed.
He's
Root
only
get-
one
Root
good
got 50,
innings
didn't he,
away.
in the first innings? No, he didn't. In the first test, he got 30 odd, didn't he? I mean, Root's not done particularly well.
Vector Victoria says, is it mandatory to be bald or losing your hair to be a spinner? No,
Yes, yes.
Just ask Adam Zampa. Meanwhile, Evil Scooters, here's hoping, he says about Jimmy, but he did just bowl 4 overs in the test he played. Well, indeed, that was, they talked about,
Well,
they did everything they could to check that the injury was, he'd overcome it.
Well, the interesting thing
So
is who do you drop then?
I know. High class problems.
Indeed.
If only England had those problems in the batting lineup.
Yeah. Which we don't. Well, Archer's going to come round the wicket to head. He's going to face his first ball, and it's not too short, but it's outside wide of his off stump. Sighter at 88 miles an hour.
See, that
Leaves
looks
that
slow.
keeper and there's no run.
It looks slow because of the
Bounce.
foreshortening.
Yeah.
And that's 88, 89 miles an hour.
I know.
It's coming to something when high 80s is a sort of relief for the batsman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Evil Scooters is a bit worried about Jimmy's calf injury because they're notorious for being an indicator the end is near, although maybe it's different in cricket than it is football. Gary thinks that's why they'll wait till Old Trafford.
Archer around the wicket. Ooh, and it's clipped to short leg. And
Sharp
there is
piece
no
of
run.
film.
Linux Lear says it should be against the laws to chew gum instead of tobacco. Imagine the comedy potential of fast bowlers slipping around on tobacco spit. Ding.
Yeah.
Linux Lear goes on to say, why is it not acceptable for MCC members to wear solid yellow ties, considering most of their faces look like air-dried bacon? Definitely, that's a good descriptor for Ian Botham's face, like air-dried bacon.
Dried bacon, yeah, it certainly does.
Yeah, he's got the Serrano ham look.
So 62 for 3. What did I go under? 62 and a half on it. I need a wicket now, I believe.
England need a wicket now.
I need a wicket now as well.
Jay Grover suggests that Languid for Archer is now up there with Risty for any player of Asian extraction on the bingo card.
Labuschagne is going to face up. Leach has decided to come around, thanks. And he's driven back to him. First ball at the next over by Leach. No run. Maybe he'll try and get one of these ones to grub again.
The Dread Pirate Rowan is with us.
Ah, hello, Rowan.
MSF has tons of hair, don't really want it to fall out just yet.
MSF.
Mini Surrey fan.
Oh right, okay.
Who's not so mini anymore.
I can't imagine he's that mini anymore, but you don't want him losing there at that age. That was defended nicely by Labuschagne. Out to the covers, and there's no run. Leach around the wicket. It's flat and a little bit too short. Allows Labuschagne to go back and defend from the crease out to short leg, no run.
Just for the uninitiated, could you let people know who Mini Surrey fan is?
Red Pirate Rowan's kid.
Yes.
Ah, thank you. Right.
He must be about 7 or 8 now.
And decent,
no, it's more than that.
decent
He's
spinner. We've got a picture of him.
10, 12, I think.
Oh yeah, must be actually. That's similar age to so. Leach around the wicket. Oh, that does keep a little bit low, and it's punched out to the deeper of the covers. There's an umbrella field on the offside, and there's no run.
And is he a spinner as well?
Well, he was before, but he may be.
Depending on how tall he's grown.
He might have shot up a little bit.
Doesn't mean you can't be a spinner.
Nope.
Leach around the wicket, tosses that one up, and Labuschagne gets a right forward.
I'm not. I don't think
No
he'll have
run.
shot up as much as the Cinnamon Ben maybe.
He definitely had a growth spurt at some point in his life, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's just lasted about 15 years, that growth spurt.
And the last ball of Leach is 4th over, 1 for 3. The 5th over, sorry. So around the wicket, tosses it up to leg side, worked into the leg side, does my bet. They move on to 63.
I mean, it's not quite panic stations for England yet. There are still almost 30 overs to be bowled in this match, even though it's late in the day and the last day of that match because of the time lost to the rain. However, noticeable that last couple of balls from Leach, he's sort of almost trying to force it a bit. He's almost trying to bowl it into the rough, even though he's bowling to a right-hander. He's sort of searching for those rough patches, which are now outside the leg stump. Then he's got to turn a mile, even if he pitches it in those areas. So, I think there's something to be said for still a little bit of patience.
Yeah, and he's got to try his other bowlers as well. Wokes and Broad aren't done, you know.
Well, I think he's doing that largely with shortish spells. It is an attack that has a lot of variety in it. So if something's not working for, say, 3-4 overs, then you can change it round and go searching for that wicket elsewhere.
Looking for a helmet. That was the universal grill sign. I don't know what, they've got a short leg already, so what's he putting in
He's
as
going
well?
to put Manley in front of his face, I think. On the
Sit him
offside.
off.
Yeah, on the offside.
That's an
At
interesting
his
position.
driving length.
28 overs remaining in the game. England needs 7 wickets. Australia notionally need another 204, but we don't
Mr.
think.
Burns is putting the pads on.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be able to survive 27 overs, you'd think. But
You would think, but it's the final day. There's the pressure of a game to be saved. You've got a man who's literally just into the team halfway through the game, or 3/4 way through the game because of the concussion to Steve Smith, in Marcus Labuschagne, who you have to say has batted pretty well and stoutly for his team. And you've got Travis Head in there on naught, not out. So, much as on paper you should save it, it's not guaranteed.
no, indeed.
Oh, no, he's going to go to short leg. That's.
Well, we already got one of them.
Okay, so
no,
where's-
no,
no,
short legs already there. That's Butler.
So he is going under his nose on the offside, we think. Unless he's going to come very short. No, he's going to silly point, isn't he? Yeah.
Okay.
How many slips is that? 3 slips in place. A gully,
And a leg slip.
forward short leg, silly point. Let's see what happens. Strap yourselves in, people.
Well, that does suggest he's going short again, doesn't it? Really. But it could be the double bluff with the Yorker. Come
Single
on.
bluff.
Oh, and he's fished at it. There's a half a peel behind the off stump. Labuschagne doesn't like the man in front of his eyes, clearly. He's been leaving those ones quite nicely, but he's
That's a lapse
a
in
little bit. That is
concentration.
very much a
Yeah.
lapse in concentration. He's almost trying to uppercut that over the slips.
Leave it that all day long. Telly Tilcaridis is with us. Absolutely loving the broadcast, lads. Listening in from Melbourne, Australia. Well, you're very welcome. Thanks for being there, Telly. And Telly your mates, please.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, Jay Grover says, I had a growth spurt once, then I left the womb.
You should
Very
get
funny,
your,
Jay,
have you got
very
your
funny.
T-shirt, Jay, by the way? I did put it in a post on... When did I put it in a post?
Here we go.
Thursday or Friday, wasn't it?
Thursday, I think.
Thursday. Have you got your T-shirt, Jay? Let us know. Mark Thorne says, had to listen to TMS for a bit earlier and they took tea to mock an amateur bowler's action. We'll never be learning again, God willing.
Round the wicket.
Listening
Oh,
again,
that's
yeah.
interesting. Right hand round the wicket, right arm round the wicket to Labuschagne. He gets inside that, knocks it out into a vacant mid-wicket area. It's fielded. and they get a single. He gets himself off strike.
That is the only other thing, is that with so many close catchers in static positions, if you get it past them, it's an easy one and possibly an easy two if you want it.
Nah, they're not going to win, are they? So you might as well attack. He will continue around the wicket. Yeah, he does, to Head, who knocks that nicely into the leg side, out to the vacant deep mid-wicket boundary, and there'll be 4. I'd give Archer a rest after this over, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
I'd probably give Wokes another little go.
It looks like another low ball, doesn't it?
Does,
Again, not called. We told you about Mark Thorne. Yeah, good man. Keep it gorilla, basically, Mark. Having had to suffer TMS earlier on. Thomas Hughes, gents, loving the commentary. Aussie working in Warsaw, Poland, and radio is all I can get. Assuming Smith and Anderson were fit, what 11 would you pick as a combined team? Oh, I've got enough time to talk about that just now, but it's a good one to come back to.
Defended square by Head, out to point, and there is no wrong. I'm going to cut of.
Fair to say Smith gets in that combined 11, though.
We did have a couple of emails over tea, and there's a guy I want to say hello to. What's his name? Owen, and he's out in the Bahamas. I think I don't know if he's an Englishman. I don't know. He's going to Eleuthera in the Bahamas.
Eleuthera.
Okay. And he's got a Labrador called Bob, and he had to take him to Nassau to go to the bloody vets. So hello, you. Head just defends that into the ground to short leg, and there is no run.
Hello to you and to Bob the Labrador.
Indeed.
Sounds like a lovely chap. Jay Grover has not received his T-shirt yet, but the anticipation is so much of the pleasure.
Indeed.
Second class post, eh?
Our man is Sam Moritz. He'd give up his. He'd swap Lake Como for an English win and a Bob Willis moment. Archer around the wicket. Head just plays that behind square. There's a leg gully. There was also a long leg goes out towards him. There is a single. Well, it could have been a leg by, don't know. And I believe that was the end of Archer's 10th over. I'll give him a little breath there. I'll give him something else to think about. You can't use him all the time, and he's not going to be magic panacea all the time either. Are we having a little switcheroo then? Okie dokie.
Well, laters everyone.
See you later, Grubby. Play a little tune.
Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Guerrilla Cricket.
Yeah, I just want to go back to that tweet from Mark Thorne, actually. Well, here comes Mark, what's his name, Leach, Jack Leach, is pushed forward out to point and there'll be no run.
Oh, that was a bit confusing. I thought it said it was a 3-man change, and I found out when I walked in there I was on doing ball by ball. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Mark Thorne said he was talking to... I'll let you get into your swing, actually, Jason, first.
So Leach to Travis Head, and that's full, and on the front foot drive, nicely through the offside, all along the floor, through the vacant extra cover region to the boundary. Yeah, I think I might just be persuaded to have a go with a couple of those from both ends now. I think they've had the chance. I think the batsmen are accustomed to the pace of the ball. They're not generating enough chances.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's to take 8 wickets in a session against a team who's just going to block it out is, it's not going to happen very often. You have to bear that in mind.
Leach again, just outside off stump, and Head covers up, smashes the ball into the ground, back to the bowler for no run. Yeah,
Mark Thorne mentioned TMS mocking an amateur bowler's action. I'd bet that's probably the guy playing in the European Cricket Cup.
Florian Pavel.
Pavel, yeah.
It's extraordinary action, that.
Well, it is, but it
obviously works.
Full hit into the offside, straight to a fielder, no run.
Yeah, but a bunch of ex-public school boys mocking a guy in Romania who taught himself how to play is not really a good look, is it?
No. And that T10 Club Championship was a massive success. Oh, well, that's
the line, that one.
Yes, slightly faster and shorter. Head goes to slog sweep it or paddle sweep it, but he's outside the line as it hits him, and it's no appeal, no run.
Melbourne Chelsea is also listening in Melbourne, has one ear on us and the other ear on Chelsea, which is one too many ears on Chelsea, if you ask me.
And Head goes back and plays it down in front of his feet, under his eyes, into the ground, and that's no run there.
Kept a little bit low again.
Paul's off. Thanks for coming in, Paul. Yeah, like I say, it's once a team gets into a blocking mode, you really have to get through to the tail pretty quickly, and I think it's just not going to happen here. England have done well in the last day and a half in this Test match. Comes from 74 with Bob Ross, basically an even start to get to thrashing it around at 260 for 5. And then that burst from Archer.
I think, as we suspected, it is going to be a change of bowler. It's the lanky blonde bombshell returning.
What would make Broad walk? If his stumps were knocked down. What would make Broad walk? Caught 5 feet off the ground. What would make Broad walk? If he trod on his stumps. What would make Broad walk? If God was one of the odds. What would make Broad walk? Broad walk.
What Broad?
I think we're getting to the stage now in the match where, in order to force a result, someone's going to have to take a hatful in a very short time.
Well, it's what Broad does every now
and then.
It's
what Broad does. It's what Wokes does.
If you get on one of those streaks, it'd be great, wouldn't it?
That's what they need. They desperately need a breakthrough now, and then maybe another one, and then get the pads flying around in the dressing room as everybody's coming in and out. But it's a tough ask. And it's a shame for England that they've lost so much time to reign in this match. It's a bit unfortunate because they're generally right on top of it now.
Yeah, Australia 73 for 3, and their target's 267, so they need another 194.
Don't forget that if England had longer to bat, they could have. They were well set at 260 for 5.
Oh,
with
they were
Bairstow
in full sail. So Broad comes in, and first ball is outside off stump, good length, moves slightly away and through to Bairstow, no run. Loveshane gives it the sort of
Steve Smith lead.
Yes, the reverse window wipers.
Is that what they're called?
Transverse window wipers. Instead of that, they're sort of like that to the side. For those people on Facebook Live.
Another football fan,
works well on the radio.
Pochsvarmy Army, which I'm sure was referring to last night after this tweet.
Broad, again,
Too
outside off
wide.
stump, nice bounce, but as my friend to the left has said, too wide, not really tempting Labuschagne to have anything to do with it, and there's no run.
Yeah, that's Kanagawaban. Says, hi, very late to the party now, 1:30 a.m. in Japan, struggling to stay awake, so probably my only tweet, but thanks as always for the great comms, thank you. Leah asks if I've had a chance to listen to Star 1. Hard to get on the computer in the green room, I'll check it out when I get home. Dr. Dan sent us a picture of Jofra Archer steaming into the crease. And Andrew McGee also says, first class coverage here in sunny St. Lucia, thank you.
Broad, Fuller, and whipped to the leg side, but straight to the one fielder there that he had to beat, pretty much, and there's no run.
Whereas Tom McNicholas is in Turkbuku. Says no one has a Scooby-Doo about cricket apart from him. Well, you can always start a team in Turkbuku and enter the European T10 next year.
That's what Florian Pavel did in Romania, I do believe.
Basically, yes.
He was commuting, 500 miles to play fixtures?
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's not nice to mock someone like that from a position of having had much more privilege.
Broad, wide on the offside, driving length, and well put away by Labuschagne, square to the boundary for 4.
Now, Melbourne Chelsea, or should I say Melbourne Chelsea, because he says don't pronounce the O in Melbourne. I've never really heard that.
Is that a different Melbourne? Or Melbourne?
I don't know. He says it's a classic UK mistake. I'm always correcting mates when I'm back home, for Ross. And Takashi Hara says Google still gives Australia 0.1% chance, so they're still in it.
Oh, well done,
You're
Google.
saying there's a chance.
Broad, on a line, on a length, outside off stump. Labuschagne not playing at it. And
He's batted
no
well,
run.
this young man, hasn't he?
He has.
So,
He's done one thing very well, which is very Steve Smith-like. He's made the batsman, the bowlers, bowl to him.
Well, he should be making them bowl to him. Broad's still sticking it out there for some reason.
he's only just come back on, hasn't he? So he's just got to keep
We
nibbling
were
in there.
talking, was it on air? Someone was saying Labuschagne's the top scorer in Division 2 this year, 1,100 runs.
Yep, that's right, for Glamorgan. Broad, that's much better. That's on the stumps. Labuschagne has to play that, gets it back round his front pad and knocks it underneath his eyes to short leg, and that's the end of the over. Australia still 77 for 3.
Well, I think this test is winding down for me unless we get a couple of
It's
very
got that
quick
feeling
wickets.
about it,
He's
doesn't
got
it?
that
So
feeling
We're
of
gonna
a decision at 6 o'clock
Yeah, possibly.
at the beginning of the last hour that they might just shake hands, I think.
Yeah, I'm getting the bar. But we're going to have the third test straight away on Thursday. No rest for the wicket.
Yes. Where's
Up
that?
in Headingley.
That's Headingley. Well, that's very much like Lord's wicket if it's overhead.
Look up, not down.
Yes. And a good scoring wicket as well when it is clear. So and a change at the other end, as we suspected. It's going to be the Birmingham Bullet himself.
I thought it was the Birmingham Botham who said before.
He's on Instagram and he's a Twitter fan. On the Ashes tour, not Ben Stokes, but he'll have to do.
And I think what's going to be the key for both bowlers who've just come on is to make the batsman play.
Absolutely.
Just no loose balls at all. Nothing he can just watch go by. So Wokes coming in with that efficient run of his, and that's down the leg side. A little flip of the bat by Head, but he doesn't connect with it, and it's through to Bairstow. No run.
Well, we're sitting here saying that it may be easier said than done to get the ball in the right place, right around off stump, compared to a ball on fifth stump someone can leave. It's just a very small change of angle in your delivery.
And to be fair, a lot of the bowlers ply their trade in, the percentage game of playing in the fourth stump line.
It's a change of line, absolutely. I mean, I used to have some kids in the team, I just couldn't get to bowl at the stumps because they've been so trained to bowl outside.
But that's Wokes, and that's on the stumps. It's on leg stump. Head goes back and whips it off his hip to square leg, and there's no run.
Juliet Clancy's at the Oval. She's at some point Kyle Abbott will be playing at the Oval. Cue jingle. I think we've already done that once.
We've
today.
already done your request, Juliet. I'm sorry if you didn't hear it the
If you
first
missed it,
time.
yeah. And she also sent us a picture of the Oval looking a little bit dark.
Well,
Doesn't
it's
surprise
looking
me.
slightly grey
It is
outside the
here,
window
yeah.
here. So Wokes.
That's
and
better. Yeah.
Yes, that's on off stump. Check defensive shot by.
I think he was trying to leave that actually.
Yes.
Or he just made a very late decision.
And it's
I think he played that one.
Run
didn't
off
he?
the bat.
and it's
Yeah.
hit down into the slip area, misfielded by the slips, and he's scampered a single as they've gone to chase the ball. Head goes to 9 off 22 balls, although strike rates are irrelevant now. Labuschagne is 30 not out of 63 balls. Archer, well, he's had a very successful debut in Test match cricket, hasn't
As
he?
you say, probably the first player to be rested from a test before he'd even played in that Ireland game.
Well, I think they didn't want anyone to see, to get wind of his potential.
Well, they'd
before
all been watching him in the World Cup. I know it's slightly different.
Wokes on the stumps, short of a length.
It rose quite a lot, that actually, didn't it?
Played nicely by Labuschagne, as we've been saying all afternoon, pretty much. Knocked into the ground for no run.
So do we think he's going to be the replacement for Smith in the third test?
I don't see why not. This is a pretty good
Seemed to be.
interview for it, shall we say?
Yeah, audition. He even bowls a bit of leg spin, probably a better bowler than Smith.
That would be hard.
That's another low bar.
On the legs and flicked down to Leach at fine leg for a single.
Leach throws right-handed and bowls left-handed.
He bats right-handed as well. Does he bat? No, he bats left-handed.
But a lot of people bat and bowl different hands because they
Yeah,
feel
it's whichever
comfortable
one is
with
your
the grip.
dominant hand.
I think it's very odd to bowl with one hand and throw with the other.
I'm sure
Some people.
Jofra Archer can manage it because he can bowl left-arm spin.
Well, yes,
Yes,
but
he
he's not
does.
bowling that for a living though. But I'm pretty sure that was Leach, and he threw it in right-handed. I know some other people have done this, but it's just showing off really. I can't even throw with one hand, never mind two.
I hate those ambidextrous people. Round the wicket by Wokes and short, and that's just chopped into the offside and deep. Archer comes round from mid-off and they jog through for an easy single.
There was that famous headline, I think about a year ago, about a baseball team saying that they had signed an amphibious picture. Might be useful in 30 years.
Especially if we're in somewhere like the Florida Marlins.
Yes.
You're back on you're back on the. We'll all be underwater soon.
Well, it's a common theme I refer to.
Yeah.
Leah says, "Come on, Wokes hat trick, if only to make Tubby Taylor's head explode." Well, if it hasn't exploded so far, I don't know if it's going to be now.
It needs something like that, doesn't it?
Jay Grover, this will be the 16th and last time I ask this question. Please tell me why Chris Wokes is a cricket and Instagram addict. I don't know.
I don't know either, so I can't tell you the answer, I'm afraid.
There's no need to ask again then. He also says, last week my Dar declaimed Josh Hazlewood as a small-mouthed fucker. I think he might have been listening to GC on the sly. He has a point though. Not as small as the famous Trent Bolt small-mouth jingle.
He might be the biggest smallmouthed effer. He's a very rangy, tall guy.
Juliet Clancy tells us Sam Curran's bowling at the Oval. Is he still in the mix for a place later in the series?
Not on this performance. Broad ran the wicket, full and punched by Head into the covers, but there's straight to field and there's no run.
Whereas Evil Scooter says, by my count, there's 9 overs Australia must bat before they can try to secure the captain's handshake. Well, I think you can do it any time you want if 2 captains agree.
I think traditionally the protocol is at the beginning of the last hour. It's the first time you can approach the opposite
convention is often overturned these days.
Broad brings it in, putting it onto his legs, and Head plays it round his front pad to mid-wicket, and there's no run.
For good or bad?
Nothing very much happening, really, is there?
No, it's going to drift. I wouldn't be surprised if we did just shake hands and troop off at 6 o'clock. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's a disappointing end to an otherwise enthralling test.
Well,
that looks familiar. That's
such a shame.
nice school colours in the front there.
I was going to say it's no one I recognise.
In the green, black and red blazer. And Broad, almost a carbon copy of the previous ball. Angling in, played to mid-wicket, no run.
Question, what kind of person still wears their school colours blazer when they're 50 years old?
Someone who hasn't got anything better
Prime
to
Minister's
do.
sister there.
And a well-known, possibly the most well-known Brexit politician who wears colours that he's not entitled to because he didn't stay there throughout all the schools all this time. Still, that's never stopped him before.
What, fake news?
Yeah,
Fake.
exactly. Fake school colours.
Broad. Well, he's definitely attacking leg stump here, and that's clipped fine by Head. And whistles to the boundary for 4.
I'm wondering if the batsmen might be slightly disappointed if they shake hands and come off, but they're probably not. They'd rather have the red inker and boost their average than actually go for the chance of more runs. There's not much to gain. No,
there's no upside for them really.
Not really. No.
Broad, still running in, and that's full. Head gives it the flowing drive to the offside, but it's straight to Wokes at mid-off, and there's no run.
Well, one thing I was slightly, I'm not going to overstate it, I wouldn't, wondering about was if England, by giving Australia a good bat here, might have given David Warner a chance to play himself back into form, but he didn't take
That's not going to happen. But he might give some other people chances to play themselves into form.
Well, Labuschagne, I guess. Head has done okay so far in this series.
He's got about 100 in 4 innings.
This is his fourth
digs.
And again, he's only been out 3 times, so it's not too bad.
So broad, covering up the ball as he runs in, and again angling in, attacking the stumps from round the wicket. Head covers up and just knocks the ball down to mid-wicket, and there's no run.
Well, a bit early to get any reverse in an innings, plus in as little as I do understand it, it's more the dry and abrasive conditions that favour that.
Absolutely, yes, it does.
Which is probably one reason why we haven't seen Ben Stokes in this innings. England don't seem to be figuring that he's the man for the job here. They could just bring him on to try something different.
Yes, I think if we go much into the second hour of this session, he might make an appearance.
Well, I think so. I certainly hope they don't over-bowl Archer in a situation where a victory is now very unlikely.
Benefit, yeah.
But I think we're going to troop off at 6 o'clock anyway.
Wokes is going to continue. Australia are 84 for 3. And will they break 100 by the time that they call game off? That is the question.
Jay is agreeing with it. Says, in sympathy for me, I've no idea which is my dominant foot. I'm equally cack. 2-footed then.
Oh, that's a good shot.
It's outside off.
Yeah, full. Just Labuschagne plays at it and misses it. This is reviewed. It might be slightly desperation review, perhaps.
It's a why not review, but it looked outside off stump to me. To complete Jay's tweet, he said, my footballing career is a horrendous tapestry of violence and nutmegs. As long as you're inflicting them on other people, that's the main thing.
It's a legal ball, as we expected, and height, I think, will stop that being given anyway.
Oh, and just hit the bat or not? Just missed it. It's close, isn't it?
It's very close, but it's hit above the pads on the back pad with a half a stride.
Well, no edge, called ultra edge.
And it's been given not out, so I'll be surprised if this is overturned.
Outside the line, yep. Takashi Hara says, the irony of talking about unearned school colours while parading your most recently acquired foreign pet is not lost. I don't think anyone, including Jofra Archer, would appreciate being called a pet.
Unless that's somebody from the north. I eat pets.
Yeah, that's the only context that would be okay, yes. But no, different things are different.
So England lose one of their 2 reviews. Not that that's going to make any substantive difference to the result, I don't think. Oh, that's close.
He's played it well, though. There's another one kept low, and he's got down on it.
Did well to get his bat on that one.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, it wasn't on the stumps, but he's done well to jab his bat down very quickly there. He did get an edge, but you know,
it would have been plumb otherwise.
I think that's outside off as well.
It's coming down, slightly skew his bat. He's much
well, you have to do that sometimes when it keeps low and you have to move quickly. You know, you can't keep perfect shape sometimes when that happens. So I thought he did pretty well there.
Can he torpedo another one in there? Come on, Wokes. What have you got? Oh,
Labuschagne's just... Sorry.
Labuschagne has just left that one. It's coming slightly on the swing, but it's missing off stump, and Bairstow's taking it going down the leg side.
Labuschagne's just starting to have a little walk down the wicket before delivery, just to, I think, help him get outside the line on these balls that are jagging in. Jay, talking about his nutmegs and violence, says one followed the other. Guess which I perpetrated? I think I can. I was an effective defender, he says.
Wokes outside off stump on a good line and length, and played comfortably by Labuschagne into the gully area, and there's no run, and I believe that completes the over.
Umpire Bell is on the same lines as us. We're moving out of this test. He says, any predictions for the Headingley test? Well, I think we're going to see more low scores, particularly with Steve Smith out, and I think with Smith not playing, I believe that has been confirmed as well by Cricket Australia. I would expect England to have the edge.
That's a wide ball, short, and Labuschagne has thrown the kitchen sink at that, and it's gone through the gully area all along the floor for 4 runs.
Jay says aggression and a quotation marks low centre of gravity compensates for utter lack of skill. It often does in low level football and rugby and any other heavy contact sport.
Oh no, we've got one more ball from Oakes. And he's in, and that's a much better ball. That's on the
Well
line,
defended
on the
as well.
length.
Yeah, he's
But
seeing
stoutly defended
Seeing
by
it pretty big now, I think.
Labuschagne.
Labuschagne, yeah.
Apart from the occasional low bounce, the pitch is not doing anything dramatic, is it
Not
really?
too much, it's slowing
Nothing
up.
in the air.
People starting to wander off at Lord's to beat the queues. Oh, I should mention, by the way, I'll be at Lord's on Thursday, and I'm not just mentioning that because I'll be there, but I will be manning the stalls and rattling the buckets for the Felix Project, which is a charity that collects surplus food in North and West London and distributes it to charities, schools, homelessness centres. It's basically food that's going to be thrown out, and you just take it round to people who can actually use it. So if you see us down at Lord's, stick £1 in the bucket. Every £1 goes in, brings £5 worth of food to people who need it.
22 overs remaining, and we have another bowling change, so a very short spell for Broad, and this bloke, who we named earlier, is going to have a bowl.
I got up in the Stokes, and he called me a oh, if I'd only
So Stokes running in, bowls it wide, and Head flails the bat at that, gets all of it through the covers for 4 runs.
said he punched mate, said I made him. The arm looked up and said, you angry redhead, you'll
Hendo's with us, and he says Labuschagne is playing his concussion sub-roll to the letter, getting outside off stump like Steve Smith.
And that's better from Stokes. That's on much more towards the stumps. Head covers up off the back foot and knocks it straight back to Stokes, and there's no run.
Hendo says he's pig light, or piglet, if you like. I don't think that's going to catch on as well as Universe Joss. Jace asked me to send a link. I will do, yes. So when I get home, probably.
Stokes, and that's short and nothing to doing by Head. He's let that sail past, outside off to Besto.
Not very
What
much
have we
happening
got
for Ben,
now?
is
We got 4 minutes to 6. I think the question's going to be asked at 6 o'clock.
They've still
so-
got another 21 overs.
Well, in theory, but again, it's not going to go past 7 o'clock, so they're not going to bowl all those 21 overs, whatever happens.
it? They got about 15 or 16 in at most.
Yeah.
Unless Leach bowls.
Unless they're literally
no.
rattling through them just to bowl them quickly, which is generally counterproductive, I think.
And it's not helped by somebody behind the bowler's arm. Actually, it's the sight screens. I think he wants sight screens moved closer together, Travis Head. So, unfortunately, Ben Stokes can't squeeze one directly down that line.
You have to be very precise to do that.
But he's come round the wicket now, and again short, but chopped into the ground by Head, straight to point, and there's no run.
92 for 3. I think in hindsight, I think England's declaration was about right with the timing of it.
It's about the most time they can give themselves and not lose the game.
I think so, yeah.
Full by
Ooh,
Stokes,
he's got
and
some bat on that,
just
he must
missing
have.
leg stump, I think, as well. But angling in, and Head trying to whip it through the leg side, didn't quite get anything on it, and that's clearly missing leg stump.
Yeah, sorry, it is just a bit of a why not from England. Why not throw Stokes the ball? He's maybe the man of the day.
That's a nice shots by Head. Good ball, and he's played that off the bat through the gully area, through backward point, all along the floor for 4 runs. And it's actually guided more than anything else. He didn't put any real power into it, he's just timed it and placed it to the boundary.
Ravi says, oh well, at least we can claim a moral victory, or as Bumble would say, we murdered them, we flipping murdered them. So that'll be 1-1 in the moral ashes. He also says if Labuschagne is piglet, When he shits, is he poo? Yeah, I wouldn't open with it. And Umpire Bell says this strip is as flat as a witch's tit now. No anti-witch bigotry, please.
And Leach has been moved around. I think he's probably bowling from the other end now. 6 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 8. So he's been very economic, but probably not as threatening as he would have liked.
Well, the whole art of bowling spin is kind of to give them a bit of rope to, as you know, Jason, to get them playing some attacking shots and get that balance. But when they're just determined to block you out, there's not so much you can do.
No, quite. He's over the wicket to Labuschagne. There's a lot more flight there, nicely flighted, but dug out and up to mid-on, there's no run. There's 2 slips, well, a slip in a gully and short leg and a silly mid-off, and a man at cover on the drive.
Straight behind the silly mid-off.
And that's slightly shorter, and Labuschagne backs away and tries to play it through the offside, but can't beat the fielder, and there's no run.
So it is 6 o'clock on my laptop. I wonder if they'll ask the question at the end of the over.
Final throw of the dice from the England captain, I think.
Just see how much longer he will attempt. Oh!
Nice,
and that's the first one that's turned, really. It's a good length, but Labuschagne played back. Didn't let his hands go too far towards the ball, though they did go towards it.
So, with Payne being the Australian captain and obviously in the changing room, are they going to have to do this by mime or semaphore or something?
I think they will have to do it by semaphore.
I think the England captain just selects one of the batsmen, doesn't he?
And that's full, and 4 defensive, just pushed out into the leg side by Labuschagne, no run.
So is this the last 2 balls?
It might be. We shall wait and see. Come on, Jack.
Lights are on full as well.
Full, and driven nice and neatly into the offside, past the jumping Cinnamid off to the diving
out
extra
of the
cover,
way.
who grabs it and flings it back to Bairstow for no run.
Well, you can see with Leach now, he's almost bowling 2 full. In fact, he is bowling 2 full. They're really half volleys. That's a bit better.
And that's sort of very much slightly quicker, possibly an arm ball. Came on and he just jabbed down on it in time and kept the ball out, and there was no run.
Well, if we're not going to have an end to the game, we're going to have a change of commentary, I would think.
I do hope so.
Not that we're losing faith in this game particularly. Leah says momentum is with England for Leeds. Now, all they need is an at least substandard captain. Too bad their captain is Ellen. I think we've heard of that a few times today. Craig Nutley gives us more Lubber Scugny. He's saying Lubber Scugny. Umpire Bell, thanks fellas, great listening to you today. I'll be tuning in for the next one, thank you. And Jay says, after spending a day reading and cross-referencing Tyndall and his engines, I'm pretty sure moral victories are cursed.
He's dropped.
Oh, sorry.
And that's Head has fenced that one from Stokes, and it went hard to Roy at second slip, who has grasped it.
I think Jason Roy will be wishing they did just go off 2 minutes ago. Oh, I should catch that.
He didn't even.
I'm not sure why
he's
there.
standing a bit too close, or is he just a bit slow on that one?
I think he's a bit slow on that one. I'm wondering why he's in there in any case. And Stokes follows that up with a good Yorker, which Head digs out straight back to the bowler.
Well, again, it looked like he almost wasn't expecting that, and that's obviously the whole thing about fielding slip or close. You've got to expect it every ball. And so are you saying he doesn't field that? He's more of a gully fielder, isn't he? Or backward point.
Yes, he's normally in the ring or boundary riding because of his strong arm.
Yeah.
He doesn't normally field at slip for Surrey. And that's, oh dear, that's a misfield by Point after, and the ball's squirted through him all the way to the boundary for 4.
I'm looking over a 4.
But yes, I mean, given the fact that Surrey have Ben Folkes to keep, Ricky Clark at first slip, Scott Borthwick at second slip, and Will Jacks or Rory Burns, there's not a lot of point in being anywhere near the slip cordon.
Are you saying Surrey have a better slip cordon than England? I'm sure they've got a better wicket keeper.
Quite possibly. Oh, and he's making something happen, Stokes. I mean, that's wide. It's slightly bouncy, but Head has gone after that with no real footwork. He's just thrown the hands at that. It's gone just over the bat to Bairstow. I think Stokes has been told to come in and bowl it as fast as you can, just see what happens.
Jagged away from the batsman nicely, didn't it?
Stokes round the wicket, and that's lovely. That's very nicely played. He's bowled that onto the bat, and Head has put that away through the covers for 4.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
Adam Kite, is there definitely a fixed 7 p.m. close of play on day 5? I think there is. It's the fact that they started late and so on and so on. Arthur Shear says, however you want to, Laboskug, however you want to say it, after this ball.
Stokes over the wicket. Oh, and that's it's a low full toss. It's just about waist high. He's questioning whether or not it's a no ball.
No, Alim Dar says no. I'll catch up with these tweets just before we change over. Arthur Shear, Labuschagne demonstrating and getting an absolute fuck ton of runs from Glamorgan. Predicts middle order success in the Ashes, guaranteeing Billy Root's debut in the next test. I think questions would be asked if Joe Root picked his brother. Vector Victor thinks 15 overs before they can declare. Leah says, did we just witness the end of Jason Roy's test career? I hope not. Takashi has, how can England have momentum when they've just tied up the test on day 4 and given Australia some batting practice? Well, I don't even know what momentum is outside of physics, so you can debate that for yourselves.
Travis Head there had every right to ask, surely that's a no ball, because it looked pretty high to me.
It's about waist high.
104 for 3. That means the 163 is the requirement. We are continuing. Jack Leach is going to be bowling. He's going to be bowling to Marcus Labuschagne, who's worked this away very nicely indeed into the leg side. It's going to be pulled up short of that mid-wicket boundary. They will take 2. We move on to 106 for 3. Jofra Archer was the man who, if he hasn't really done enough work today, had to go chasing after that.
No,
yeah, we're in a sort of we're in a lull, aren't we, Bear?
We are.
We're in a lull, and you just felt England needed a couple of extra wickets just that little bit earlier. But we go on. Lots of company around the bat for Labuschagne again, and it's batted back down the wicket to the bowler.
Sol Vector Victoria says, I thought it was 15 overs left before they can declare.
Well, I think the point is you can pretty much agree as captains at any point, can't you?
That's what I thought, to be honest.
I think we all rather felt that. 106 for 3.
Leah says, did we just witness the end of Jason Roy's test career with that drop?
Well, it's certainly been a fairly... Well, it's not been a great test for him at all, and of course that on top of not a particularly great test at Edgbaston either. He's in. This one's fetched away. That's going to go straight to the mid-wicket boundary for 4 more. This is almost giving runs to Australia at the moment.
Well,
it seems rather pointless.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He's striving for that to the right-handers. He's really striving to get into those footholds, is Jack Leach, which he did, but it just didn't turn enough, and it was beautifully timed by Labuschagne to pull it away to that mid-wicket boundary. So 110 for 3. Head is on 30. The concussion substitute, loose bus change, is on 41. And he's done a very fine job indeed for his team. Under the circumstances, we're looking at that very close-up view of Johnny Bairstow. That one does rip and turn out the footmarks and is through to Bairstow. Labuschagne throws his head back. That was unplayable.
That last shot, which went for 4, not this one, which just came out of the footmarks or the rough even. Takashi Hara says, how can England have momentum when they've just tied up the test on day 4, then proceeds to give the Aussies top order some nice batting?
Yeah, I think someone just read that one. You maybe just
sorry,
one.
apologies.
Oh, and there is a big shout from Leach. Alim Dar shaking his head. I think it pitched outside leg.
More than likely.
Indeed, it did, Bear. 100%. That was, of course, the voice of the Bear to my right, who is manning the sometimes idiosyncratic jingle machine. And to my left, the ever reliable Mash, fine editor of tweets on the fly and other messages. 110 for 3.
Got him in a knackers, didn't it, that one?
I think it might have done.
I'm not sure why.
Well, no, I thought it skipped and span past the outside edge.
No, I just saw a replay. Hit the square in the nuts.
Oh, I did get him in the nuts, okay. There's a very fine first slip. That one again, he's looking to pull away. Went down on one knee, did Labuschagne. Turn just beat him. So it's well bowled by Jack Leach. Gave that one more air as well there, Bear, didn't he?
Yeah, he did indeed.
Tossed it up a bit. Labuschagne was once again looking for that big expanse out on the mid-wicket boundary. Australia need 157. There's 18 overs remaining. If this were a T20, you'd go, well, that's very doable.
Well, you would. But they've also lost 3 wickets, and you fancy the team. You were none for 3 in a T20, you'd still fancy the side bowling.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean,
that is true.
They've only really got Wade and Payne left.
2 for 26 for Archer today, and he's bowled magnificently, but you can't just expect him to do it all. Stokes' bowling has been a little strange, to be honest. Maybe he's been straining too hard, but
we should have had a wicket. It's a bloody sitter dropped by Royal.
He was certainly ticking after that.
Got a bit fired up,
especially as it was then a misfielded ball after. That one's a better ball, though, very low through to Bairstow past the off stump.
Sure phone
of Marnus Labuschagne. Jason is skipping in to collect his phone and skipping out again.
Roger Melly says, is it just me or is bowling round the wicket a lot more common than it used to be? I reckon,
oh yeah, massively.
I think it is. We were chatting about that, Roger, in the green room and saying exactly the same thing. Our feeling was it's a default reaction now and doesn't always work. That one is left, happily enough, by head through to Bairstow again at ankle height.
Well, that was the thing, wasn't it? I mean, originally when Flintoff started doing it to Gilchrist in 2005, it was quite novel, and the idea was that Gilchrist was very good and used to line across him and hit through the line, and if you could get it to straighten instead of come into him from off stump around with a new angle, then he'd nick off, which was very successful in that Ashes.
In comes Stokes forward very nicely, comes head, it's away to Stuart Broad at mid off, and there's no run.
Well, I was going to say, but like all things, if you do it to everybody, then everyone gets used to it. So.
Yeah, you need to have the pace to do it with. So it seemed odd to me that...
And the ball has to be moving. The ball really has to be either
Yeah.
swinging or going appreciably off the seam.
3 slips and a gully. Stokes is in, worked nicely off his toes by Travis Head. They'll take a single. Jofra Archer doesn't quite field it cleanly, but it looks like they decided not to take a run.
Takashi says momentum is giving Smith's sub time to get his eye in from half the team.
Yeah, it'll be a new game, new start next time round, won't it? England will feel... I mean, the wicket isn't doing a great deal. There's not a lot of pace left in the wicket unless your name's Archer.
The update of 2 hours ago, by the way, on Smith was that he's not a done deal that he's out of that test. Stokes is around the wicket, as we've been saying. Drops this short head. Well, the only piece of his anatomy he could have got anywhere near that was his head, if he was also able to jump about 3 feet in the air. And so there is no run. Jofra Archer is in the middle of a broad yawn. And you suspect he feels maybe his work is done for the day.
Yeah, I think they should call this now, really. We're never going to get 7 wickets. They aren't realistically going to get 150
Stokes, driven straight to the floppy-hatted Stuart Broad again at mid-off. And again, no run.
Well, off that, Roger Melly says you can't agree as captains any time. There's a certain time period when that becomes available. I think it's half an hour before scheduled.
Yeah, see, I thought it was the
now
last
Mitchell
half hour.
Stark is jogging on in his quaint arse orange bib.
He's going to put the offer.
And I think this could be the message. Ostensibly he's bringing out some fresh batting gloves for Labuschagne. There seems to be a lot of discussion.
I think the message was offer it up.
It's some tablets for Marcus Labuschagne.
I think he said to him, come on.
There might be some sort of hallucinogenics that make him believe that Jofra Archer's really bowling 42 miles an hour. But no, we continue for sure. Jack Leach 1 for 14. Nothing wrong with his economy.
Leah and Arthur Shire are having a discussion about whether Root is the worst England captain since Beefy.
Oh no,
It's a bit harsh.
That's harsh. I'd have to go back and have a good look at his stats as captain, actually.
They beat India, they beat Sri Lanka recently, then lost to West Indies.
In comes Leach, left arm over the wicket. Labuschagne forward, pushed to forward, short leg, no run.
Lost it,
110
well,
for 3.
He didn't have a good start, did he? Lost to Australia away. Lost to
Let me go look up
New
his
Zealand
captaincy
away.
stats.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, you can definitely look at that.
Won all his home series, hasn't he? Drew with Pakistan in
In
2 Test
comes-
series.
Oh,
Well,
that was worked off his pad, or just dabbed off his pad, really, to backward square by Labuschagne. He'll get a single.
When did he
Or by
become-
Travis Head, I beg your pardon.
When did he become captain? Was it during the summer of the South Africa series, or was it after the South Africa series, going into the Ashes?
Good question. I was going to say Labuschagne it was, of course, who got that run. If the general demeanour of the rest of the Aussie team who aren't those batting is anything to go by, they're looking pretty relaxed now, and massive looks of concern from 2 hours ago.
Right,
Yeah.
here's,
Now look to be
Chilled.
pretty relaxed, I reckon, and pretty chilled.
here's
Yes,
the
they
key
do.
stats after this ball.
Indeed, Leach is going to be in. He's going to be into the left-handed Travis Head, who steps away.
So that's it, boys.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's
So-
saying that, but something distracted him.
Root.
And,
Oops, sorry.
hold on, yeah. In comes Leach past Alim Dar. Head is onto the back foot, pushed away into the offside. No run.
So it's a myth that everyone's saying here. Root's the best England captain statistically. He's better than Cook, better than Peterson, better than Strauss, better than Flintoff.
Is that win ratio? you're
Win
working
ratio I'm
on?
looking at.
Series or individual tests?
Individual.
Uh-huh.
Better than everyone, basically. One second.
In comes Leach again. Onto the back foot goes Head. Does a Smith-like jerk of the head backwards and a little waggle of the bat and walks away to square leg.
Where'd you find that stuff?
I don't know. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm talking nonsense here.
I was going to say.
I was going to say, hold on a minute. Hold on.
That
My interpretation
like
of
a
this
bit
is
like
wrong.
bullshit.
Oh, that kept massively low. And Head just got the bat. What subject do you teach at school, maths?
Maths.
God
I don't
help
teach
those
maths.
kids.
no,
Oh, you don't?
No, I teach history.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm right.
Hold
Hold
on.
on.
I think I might say then.
No,
Where are you getting this?
I'm not.
fucking
I'm
thing
right.
from?
I'm
How
right.
stat is your best? How stat is your best source? I think for that information. That one turns into the pads of Travis Head, but he had his front foot a long way forward.
My Twitter followers back me up, please. I believe I am right. By the way, England 111 for 3.
Yep.
I believe I am right. Root has been captain for 30 matches. I'm not talking series, I'm talking matches. He's been captain for 30 matches and England have won 15 of them, 50% win ratio, which is better than every England captain this century other than Vaughan. And better than everybody else before Vaughan until Brearley. So Root is the third best captain, win percentage ratio for England. So it's Brearley, Vaughan, then Root.
Well, speaking of Joe Root, he is going to come on, bowling from the pavilion end. There are 16 overs remaining today. This is either a last desperate attempt to just make something happen.
Let's give him a jingle.
His
No
voice
one
is
else with it.
high-pitched and ginger hair like a picked, but massive runs he has hit, so there's that.
Is that right, by the way?
Introduce yourself.
Joe Root.
Introduce yourself.
Joe Root, actually.
Is that right, England 258 in both innings?
Yeah.
It is right. That's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
However, the reason why you think I'm wrong is because he's got a massive loss percentage as well. Not many draws are in there.
Oh, yeah, that's... Well, I think that's also... Yeah, the way the game tends to be going. This one is short and wide by Root and crashed away backward of point. Who's the man after it? He's got there, whoever it is. It's Johnny Bairstow, I think. No, it can't be Johnny Bairstow, he's the wicketkeeper. It was Jack Leach. Number 77. And he saved a run for his team. It was a pretty rubbish ball from Root. Well, let's be kind and call it a loosener. But bowling yourself at this stage, well, it's not the first time he's brought himself on when England really needed wickets, isn't it?
So, perversely, Root has the third best win percentage, but he's got the worst loss percentage this century. So, look at that, you want.
He's in again. That was short and spanked away to the cover boundary for 4.
No,
There's
4.
a shocker of a ball.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the stat myself. Can you send me a link? I want to see. Where'd you get it from?
I'll send you a
The
second.
number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
I found all-time win-loss ratios. Steve Waugh's top of the list, followed by Bradman, Ponting. Faf du Plessis is 4th on that list.
That's slapped again, but for 1 run.
thank you.
No, they didn't even take a run, actually.
No.
Well fielded.
Labuschagne in sight of his 50, but it's Travis Head who is facing Joe Root at the moment, who's bowled 3 pretty average balls. 4th one outside of off stump, left by Head.
So those stats I've been quoting, of course, huge disconcertion on the Twitter feed here. For a start, Woy says, well, Root has a better team than most of the recent England captains.
Captaincy, he's won 15 and lost 12. Is that the figures you were looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, 115, lost 12. So he's lost a lot.
But won a lot.
Well, yeah, the highest English man on here is Brearley.
Has to be Brearley.
31 tests, 58% win ratio.
Root onto the leg stump of Head, who just pushes it away into the onside, and there is no run.
118, lost 4, drew 9.
Arthur Shire says it's not just about results. Root's tactically inept, and bad at managing individuals. He's costing England matches and ending careers, especially of spinners. He's the worst England captain of my lifetime, not even close.
Well,
luckily I'm not English, so I won't comment on that. Tony?
There's an awful lot of Australians in this list, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but their teams were good, probably. Those top
War,
4.
Bradman, Ponting are top 3.
Anyone through the 90s, remember, against Australia in the 90s, we were...
Where's Lloyd?
Appalling.
Well, hold on. Hassett of Australia is...
Lindsay Hassett?
Lindsay Hassett, he's 5th. Brearley is 6th on this list. Coley is 7th. Kane Williamson is 8th. We play a lot more tests these days, I suppose. Woodfull, Australia, 9.
Wait, there's no West Indian on there?
IVA Richards, 10.
What's Viv's one? Percentage?
He had 50 tests, 127, lost 8, drew 15.
Yeah, but draws were more common.
Yeah, they were, but it's win ratio, isn't it?
Yeah,
Win-loss
true.
ratio.
Okay, fair enough.
That's win and not win ratio, isn't it? He still won 54% of his tests. Followed by Pollock, South Africa, Smith, Australia, Taylor, Australia, Clark, Australia. Michael Vaughan is next on the list. He had 51 tests, 126, so he won more than he lost. He lost 11, drew 14. Cronje, Hansi Cronje is on the list. Slightly over 50%. Last people with Joe Root is next on the list. Sorry. Ian Chappell is 1 above Joe Root with, he's actually equal. And in fact, they've played the same amount of tests, but Rooty's lost more.
You both doubted my statistical analysis of Joe Root.
Ian Chappell, 115, lost 5, drew 10, and Rooty lost.
It's the losses, I think.
Yes. Well, in the modern era, there's a hell of a lot of losses, aren't there? I mean, if you look at Kane Williamson, they've got 5 of the ones that he hasn't won. 5 are losses and 5 are draws. A lot of the old ones, Brearley, as you say, there tends to be more draws than losses. Faf du Plessis, he's got a high. He's 4th on the list. 29 tests, 17 wins, 9 losses, and only 3 draws.
So, how many in the Great League table that you're looking at?
Yeah.
How many are above and how many are below Root? Where does he sit?
Well, an English captain's is only 2.
Pantheon.
And he is, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He's 18th best ever Test captain as we stand.
Well, there we go.
And you lot want him out.
He's higher than Clive Lloyd.
I've got a Test captain that can't win any matches, and you lot want yours out.
Yeah. Clive Lloyd hardly ever lost. He had 74 tests. He won 36 of them.
Yeah.
But he only lost 12 of the rest.
Yes.
And 26 draws.
Rooty, his toss win ratio is 63.33%. He's won 19 tosses out of the 30 tosses he's been responsible for. He's scored as captain 2,223 runs, and he averages 41.17 as captain. So captaincy hasn't really has diminished a bit his overall batting average, but not to a massive effect. I
See,
don't think.
Graham Smith of South Africa captained 109 Test matches.
Wow.
We're at the 15 over minimum remaining mark here, and
We are. There seems to be a lot of discussion.
is it about the ball or the screen? It's time.
It's the last. No,
last
so now
hour.
we're on the last hour, so they
Okay,
can
so
go
we are on the
to. They
last
can
hour.
go to 7:24,
Okay.
and the minimum overs they have to be bowled
Oh, 15.
are 15.
Well-
So if England get through 15 overs by 7:20, they get an extra over.
Well, Vector Victoria
they
just
want
said that Sky have just said that the last over before the draw can start at 6 p.m. or when 15 overs are left, which is now.
Probably
Okay,
give it.
well, Jack Leach is going to be bowling.
Well, they've slowed down, haven't they? In Australia, England has set more. I mean, the way to force that is just to set a really quite defensive field. And
Well, it's not too bad. You've got 2 slips and a man at forward short leg.
yeah, but everyone else is actually saving singles.
Leach,
aren't
yeah,
they?
it's a filthy full toss from Leach. Steered away around the corner and 4 runs.
That's a filthy ball. Absolutely filthy ball. Just give him a one.
It's me, Sanshi.
I'm liking my list here. More interested in the cricket at the moment. actually.
So the other thing about that list, though, is it doesn't take into account that in the modern era as well, teams just dominate at home. Obviously, England are losing to Australia
Yes.
right now, but more teams just destroy everyone at home and then lose away.
Well, yeah.
Leach is in to Labuschagne, who prods forward. He's on 49. He will be delighted to have come through the stiff examination of having to face Jofra Archer, having been the concussion substitute, and nearly being his own, needing a concussion substitute for the concussion substitute.
Well, England have not done too bad away from home in recent years.
Except against Australia.
Except
when
against,
we have
well,
got
we won in
pummeled.
2010. We lost the next 2, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We won last time we went to South Africa. We drew the time before that. New Zealand, we normally get a draw, but we lost last time. It was only a 2-test series, though, didn't we?
Lost in the West
Was that
Indies.
the 47 or 74 or whatever
Yeah,
we
whatever
made?
it was, yeah.
Jack Leach.
We did
is
lose
gonna
in the West
be-
Indies.
Jack Leach is in again. He's coming around the wicket. Down the track comes Labuschagne. That is his 50. With
that well
a
batted,
push
actually? Good knock, yeah.
to
That was
widen it
Gagny.
off. A very well batted Marnus loose bus change. A fine effort.
How much was he on when he took the knock to the grill? He hadn't scored yet.
No,
Maybe
that was
he'd
his
got.
first ball, I think.
No,
He'd
it
scored
wasn't
maybe,
his
he'd
first.
scored maybe a couple.
50. Sometimes you drink till you pass out on the floor. Now your liver's destroyed and you got hemorrhoids and you can barely get it up anymore.
It always makes me laugh, that jingle, mainly because you hear someone smack the microphone
Yeah.
3/4 of the way through it. 123 for 3, 50 up for Marcus Labuschagne, so very well played him. Leach is in, Travis Head is onto the back foot. There's 4 men around the bat now. 5 if you count Johnny Bairstow, of course. Leach
Yeah.
does that classic spin bowler's cough
More
to
stuff.
warm his hands up. He's in, forward comes Head, it's pushed away 2 point, there's no run.
More stuff on captains. Arthur Shire says Michael Atherton, for example, was a great captain, but his team was shit.
Yeah, well, he's nowhere on this list.
Yeah.
Peter May is one below Root,
You look at
followed by Clive Lloyd.
that was around the time when the likes of Phil Tufnell and Mark Ramprakash were playing and not getting any wins at all
Absolutely.
against Australia. As that one is pushed back to the bowler by Travis Head. That concludes Leach's over. He has 1 for 20 from 10, so he's been going at 2 and over.
And I think actually it's unfair. The more games you play, the more your statistics are going to even out, aren't they?
Hendo was countered. He said that Athers really wasn't a great captain. He possibly got the captaincy a little too early, but I think he'd be superb if he was a captain now, in today's.
He was a Brealey. They pulled him in just for his captaincy.
Well, and Mike Brealey, certainly his win ratio was terrific and very strong, of course, against Australia.
Nasser Hussein's down there, probably about 35th. And his list goes quite a long way, actually. A couple of Sri Lankans in there.
Everybody who's ever captained in Test cricket, isn't it? That
Jar
will be a
Wardner
very
and
long
Jaya
list.
Surya. Both have But now you're below 50%, but they're still in the high 40s.
Well, I know you're fascinated by that, Bear, but we do have a change of bowling. It is going to be Jofra Archer from the pavilion end, 2 for 26
I can't
for
believe
him.
we're still going on with this, you know.
Is this the final throw of the dice from England to try and make something happen?
Bloody hell.
Archer, not only handsome, but also
A secret agent. That's what I am.
That's it.
That is it. That is it, as in the jingle. That is not it, as in the game, folks. Don't go running for cover just yet.
Jay Grover says there's an argument for Root not knowing how to use spinners, but an argument could be made for Vaughan given the opposition. Not that he'd claim it.
3. Let's have a look. He's got 3 slips and a gully. There is still a man at 4 short leg. There's a wide mid off and a wide mid on. And a deep backward square as Jofra Archer is.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a very extraordinary ball.
Knuckleball.
It was a knuckleball looking for the slower ball to fool him. He's got a big old smile on his face as Jofra. It fooled me, it fooled Labuschagne, and he, to be honest, he might well have fooled himself, because I really don't think he intended to serve up a full toss pie.
No, he didn't. He wanted that to drop, but he
Yeah.
did, because he bowled a knuckleball, so he knew what he was doing.
Well, he knew what he was trying to do, but I don't think it quite
came out a bit wrong.
Arrived the way he intended it to. What's he got in store for Marnus Labuschagne now? That one's up on a good length, and Labuschagne is on top of it to push it down to forward short leg, no run.
Do you know what I think it might be, though, with Root, and why there's quite a bit of consternation about his captaincy? Maybe people have higher expectations given the, I'm going to say, quality of his team?
Well, I think
I don't know. I have no opinion on that.
I think also the point with Root is that actually, unlike all the others, Coley and Smith and
in comes
Kane
Archer.
Williamson,
Tidily played by Labuschagne away into the offside. Archer fields up his own bowling.
unlike those guys whose batting average has increased appreciably when they've taken on the captaincy, or they've taken on the responsibility. I think the problem is that Roots hasn't. Roots has actually dropped now that he's become captain. Like it's a burden upon him. It hasn't increased his efficiency with the bat. And quite recently, actually, I mean, I love Rooty. I think he's actually quality
In comes
bat.
Archer. Ooh, well, that was well left by Labuschagne, who has a resigned look on his face that he realises he may have got away with one there, because that really did nip back at pace from Archer, and can't have missed the top of that off stump by much.
It didn't.
But it did miss it.
And I think actually he gets a long rope with a lot of English fans, because he started his career quite well. And recently I've been comparing him, not unkindly, I think, with a bit like Ian Bell. He's got all the class, doesn't get all the runs.
Worked nicely off his hip by Marnus Labuschagne, down to long leg. They'll take a single. 124 for 3.
It's interesting.
Well, the thing is that Bell, when he started his career, didn't have a good start for England and got dropped, came back in, got dropped, and that was, so you always had this feeling about Bell that he hasn't quite done it. Whereas Root started off really well with his Test career, got shitloads of runs, and now he's having a bit of a poor. His average over the last couple of years is what, 30?
Well, I'll tell you something else that people look at from a captaincy perspective now that, of course, they wouldn't have done historically is success rate or perceived success rate in managing DRS reviews.
Yeah.
And of course you wouldn't have bothered about that years ago because they didn't exist.
No, well, true. And that probably changes results in Test matches as well.
And I
you imagine all those series, like with the ones we're watching on, between the Ashes.
Oh gosh,
exactly.
In comes Archer round the wicket, flashed that outside of off stump by Travis Head and threw actually on the first bounce to Johnny Bairstow. Yeah, because I mean,
I'm just thinking of series that you can think of. The Shackle Rana series. There'd have been a fucking shitload of reviews there. The series we watched, what was it, 82, 83, where Australia got 20 LBWs and England none in a series in Australia. That would have been a massively different series. So things would have been totally different. And technology does add massively to it. Swanee wouldn't have been such an effective spinner without DRS.
If I just come in just to actually, because people might say, oh, you're talking nonsense, Beery, Root. This is Root's stats, batting average stats since he's... Well, I'm going to start at 2014 because... in fact, no, I'm going to start with 2013. Test matches. 14 matches, average 34.
Marnus Labuschagne it is who is going to be facing Jack Leach. Gives that plenty of air. Labuschagne is nicely down the track to meet it.
That's a good shot.
Steer it away between cover and extra cover all the way for 4 in front of the mound stand.
Yeah, so
139 needed now.
as I was saying, so Root 2013 40 matches, average 34. 2014 7 matches, average 97. 2015 14 matches, average 60. 2016 17 matches, average 50. I'll
So
pause there.
you're saying his average is declining as Leach is in. Forward comes Labuschagne.
No, to be honest, with
the other way.
with the 97, 60 and 50, I'm saying it's very good.
Yeah.
But then
Oh, it is.
2017 11 matches, 51. Then we see the decline, which I'll come to.
Well, that's when he was captain.
Yeah.
Leach is going to be in again. Down the track comes Labuschagne. Drives it away into the covers. There is a man at deep cover. They'll just take 2 on this occasion. Takes Australia onto 130 for 3. Labuschagne is looking to the manor born now, without a doubt, on 57.
So, doing my quick maths, although I'm a history teacher, between 2014 and 2017, Root was basically averaging high 50s, even maybe low 60s.
Yeah.
2018, he averaged 41. This year, he's averaging 26. So that does.
That's what I mean.
The stats back up the point that Beer is trying to make about what the captaincy seems to have done.
But if
to
you
Root's
look at those
test match
same
batting.
stats for Kane Williamson, Steve Smith when he was captain, and Virat Kohli, there's a marked increase of about 5 runs they've added to their.
Leach is reverse
that's
swept.
a good shot.
Reverse swept by Labuschagne. That's heading down towards the tavern. There is a man down there. It's Joe Denley. And again, they will take 2. 132 for 3. Andy Ward's appearing at the door. We are going to make a change, I suspect. We're not quite sure because we haven't accounted for this.
I was enjoying our chat though, Matt.
Sorry, Andy's here to continue it. He's heard. He knows what he needs to say.
Well, we'll see these 2 balls out. This is
I'll catch some
left
tweets before
outside
Andy
his
steps
leg
in.
stump.
Jay Grover says, I loathe and despise that 50 jingle, and I have no idea why.
Who says that? Jay
Jay
Grover.
Grover.
Wow.
The Taylor
Maybe you're
Swift.
50. You can't get it up anymore, Jay. I don't know.
Steady on.
Let's not go there, Bear. As this one is swept in the more conventional manner and taken.
Oh,
England have a wicket. Labuschagne has gone. He's been caught diving forward at square leg.
Did he hit that into his boot?
By none other than Joe Root.
Well.
And England do have a wicket. So 132 for 3. They're going to have a look at it.
Soft signal out. Yeah.
The soft signal is definitely out. Umpires Alindar and Chris Gaffney are in conversation. I think he's got it.
That came out of nothing.
Most importantly, Joe Root is absolutely confident, and whatever we can debate about his captaincy or not, and I think we're coming down on the side that actually he's really not half bad.
That's not out.
Actually, he thought he'd got it. I think it bounced into his hands.
Yeah, that's
It
not out.
definitely bounced into his hands.
And
Terrible captain.
I was about to say
That's not
the
out.
one thing you had to say is he's probably as honest as the day is long, but having looked at that, that is not out.
Well, he says
The umpires
he'll
will-
say he's got his fingers underneath that and it's bounced up into his hands when he. And you look at it from there, and that looks like
Chris
it bounced.
Gaffney, I don't think would have
It's
been
Joe
able
Wilson
to see.
on third umpire duties though, so who knows?
No, well, yeah, Chris Gaffney's the man who's at square leg. And he's right behind Root, so all he will see is Joe Root's backside. He won't have had a view of the.
The fielder will say that's foreshortening. It's actually my fingers are underneath it and it's bounced up off my fingers into my hand. But I mean, if you were looking at that, you have to go, that's bounced.
I'd be surprised if they give this. They're having a long.
Well, if he gets given out on
Extended
that,
look
I feel
at this.
sorry for him, and it's
I
an
think I would,
injustice.
because he's.
I don't think that's out.
He's been rocky, really, hasn't he? He's been against the ropes. He's been thumped and pummeled, and he's come through that. And,
Although looking at it from the side, exactly that Root will say, "Well, my fingers are under it. It hasn't hit the ground. It's gone under my fingers." You can
Yeah.
see his fingers. Yeah, well, I say that. But
He's
I-
got,
I'm-
like- he's
I'm
got, like-
defending Root, but this is what Root's going to say. Obviously,
He's got two little fingers just touching the ball at best.
exactly. That's not
the
out.
third umpire's decision is coming. Oh, it's pending.
Not
It
out.
is
Out!
It's given us.
That's outrageous.
We are surprised.
I told you, Joel Wilson's on third umpire duties. That is
Labuschagne is not happy.
having a look at Joe Root, and the shake of his head and the expression says, "Were you cheating bastard?" Basically.
Oh, I didn't realise it had come
No,
off.
it had come off Josh Butler's thigh and looped up to Joe Root.
How is he given that? I'm trying to just.
I don't know. I mean,
Joe Root actually signalled, "Yes, I got that. It's out." We've had a look at it. We're distinctly not convinced.
I'm not convinced.
The ever reliable Joel Wilson.
Well, funnily enough, I'm going to say
was
about this.
convinced.
This is exactly like that VAR the other night. It's like, well, strictly by the case of the law,
Benefit
the
of the doubt.
decision has to be if you can't categorically overturn. But I think you probably could have categorically overturned it. No one have minded. But if the umpire says it's out, then you've got to prove that it's not.
Anyway, Marnus Labuschagne has gone caught in inverted commas in an unusual manner off the thigh and into the hand of Josh Butler, into the hands of Joe Root at square leg.
He can consider himself very
batted
unlucky there.
quite magnificently for 59 as the concussion substitute for Steve Smith. He's done the fallen Steve Smith proud. The new man at the crease will be Matthew Wade. England's target for Australia is still 267. They've lost another wicket. With the loss of that wicket, any potential thoughts I would have thought about that they might
It
just
will be delayed for another 5
delay for a
overs.
while and
until he gets
see if
in.
they can give it a charge.
Exactly.
Will have gone.
Well, let's give him a jingle.
And the new man is
He ain't heavy. We Matthew Wade him.
Actually, Jofra Archer is the man who's on the attack. I'll just do this over, Andy, sorry, because it's all with that discussion. Who else is actually still out in the green room? Only you to come in, so you could go in there for Mash. Bear, who was in the? It was Jason. He doesn't want to come in.
No.
Oh,
you can't force him.
Are we looking at a replay here? I'm now quite
No,
confused.
that's
No, we're
live.
not. That's worked off his thigh around the corner down to Jack Leach, and they will take another single.
We want me to take over from you and swap places.
You and I could swap places. We could. Do
Okay,
that.
well,
Should we watch that again?
I was just itching to grab the mic and say that was not out.
That's not out. We all agree
Look,
with
I'm
that.
all for giving people leeway when they make honest mistakes on first look, but he got 5 looks at that, and that is not out.
No, that appears
it's
to-
never out.
That bounced up into his hands. I'm very surprised at that. We all are. And anybody watching this might. Well, put it this way: surely the benefit of doubt lies in the batsman's
Well, the benefit
favour,
of doubt
does it
stays
not?
with the umpire, actually. That's what I'm saying. The
Who-
benefit of the doubt goes with the umpire. The
And he'd
umpire
given
said
it.
it was out.
Yes, there
So
you go.
you have to have. That's why I'm
But
saying it's
still,
like
how
VAR.
much-
Well,
How
Matthew
much
Wade is
doubt
going to face
counts?
Archer, who, predictably enough, drops one short. It bounces high. It's over Johnny Bairstow, and it is gone for. Well, he gave it his leg buys. What did it come off? I
Helmet.
didn't see it. Did it just graze his helmet on the
Yeah,
way
it
through?
did. It came off the helmet.
Well, I missed that completely. Let's have a look. Oh, yes, it did. It was a near post flick on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Over Johnny Bairstow. And away it went. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it did.
Yeah, you're talking just briefly on that VAR thing, though. Although I haven't seen it, apparently another wrinkle to that is the law's been changed.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about Liverpool in the Super Cup. There was a penalty.
Oh, well,
given.
no one cares about that.
Yeah, well, no one cares about it. But the point was there was a penalty given against.
Oh, I think I did see that one. Yeah,
Adrian, and one angle clearly showed that he never touched the player, and therefore it should have been overturned.
You know, again, they say with doubt you go with the umpire, but how much doubt? Like 1% of doubt? I'd say no.
Sorry, just so everyone knows.
No, they're
this
just
is
replacing
time
the
wasting.
helmet. I'll catch up with some tweets.
I'm going to go and have a wee.
Yeah, Michael
for that.
Brown, I agree with this. He says, follow rugby union, assessment by independent doctor who doesn't write like a 7-year-old. I'm not sure who that's referring to. If concussed, mandatory 3 weeks away from sports. Replacement player, get real. You're playing with people's lives. I agree. Richard Peel says, Melbourne 1990, England lost 6 wickets for 3 runs. Melbourne 1979, Australia lost 7 for 5 runs. So keep trying, yeah, but you know that's twice in Earth history. So and not in a situation where you're blocking out for a draw.
We do have a delay because that grazing of the helmet means that there was a spot to check it, and this one again is dropped short by Archer. This one doesn't graze his helmet on the way through, and it is through to Johnny Bairstow.
I
91 miles an hour.
People have mentioned this on Twitter. I don't see why they're running Archer into the ground at this point. Takashi Hara says, typical Joe Root scrabbling at dirt. Jay says, I'm not very good at knowing what is appropriate or not, but I think I'm sure that no one on this planet wants to know about my middle-aged erectile dysfunction, even with a Taylor Swift soundtrack. Roger Melly agrees with me.
Hello?
Fucking bullshit. That was obviously not out on the first replay.
Yeah, well, we've all come to that conclusion. Archer around the wicket, flicked off his legs, or tried to flick it off his legs, did Wade, but it's through to the wicketkeeper, Johnny Bairstow. There is no run. There's one ball left of, a couple of short balls. One, of course, that did get the top of the helmet for Wade. Johnny Bairstow was actually peeling for a leg side strangle there, and I don't think that was ever in question. 137 for 4.
Question for you at the end of this over.
Okay, as in comes Archer, worked off his legs, and away to mid-wicket where Chris Wokes fields. They'll take a single. Wade will get himself off the mark. That concludes that Archer over. Should we take this opportunity to flip-flop then, you and Bear?
Question for you and any listeners who are still with us. If we can play till 20 past 7 tonight, why can't we play till 20 past 7 every time they haven't bowled 90 overs?
That's a good question.
I think it is. That's what we've got the lights for.
Well, not even that. I mean, in England, in the height of summer, it doesn't get dark till 10 o'clock. Dusk is usually well beyond 8.
Yep.
I mean, it does get darker actually in stadiums anyway, and there's a lot to take to confuse the player, I suppose. But yeah, they should just play the overs that have to be bowled in the day. That may make them bowl quicker.
Well, one thing with that, I'm not going to say controversial, I'm just going to say wrong. That wrong decision. It's not going to materially affect the result of the game.
No. It'll rile the Australians though.
Well, that's a positive.
Oh, that's turned. That's out. Here we go. 5. How many was that? 7 for 3 in Melbourne. Hello. Wade's gone. Turns in. Ripper by Leach. He's got 3 wickets now. 138 for 5.
I think we might keep going a bit now.
Oh, I think we'll definitely keep going a bit now, won't we?
Well, he's gone. He has.
After you've gone.
Yep, that wasn't great play in front of his pad. Although that's not a bad thing. He's just clipped the corner of the bat, gone to short leg, and that's not improved Matthew Wade's test average, which was already a very moderate 29.
And that probably been improved massively by his 100 and whatever it was
the other day. Yeah.
He didn't do too well in the first innings here, though, either, did he?
No,
Matthew
he
Wade?
didn't do very well. He got 100 basically. And he came in after Header got 80 and Smith was batting like a god, and they were quite well in front one, and England were panicking a bit and bowling crap. So one test match, decent
it's
score.
a hat
Does
trick.
mean Jack
It's a
Leeds is on a
hat-trick
hat-trick, of course.
Oh, Christ, was that the...
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
So last ball of one over and first ball of the next.
Okay.
Yeah. Dallas Nash says, anyone else see the resemblance of Leach to Matt Pryor?
Yeah,
Definitely in the sort of shape of his shaved hairline is very Matt Pryor.
This is the man it is, coming in.
He's the test captain and he's Tasmanian. Where all the best folk are from Bartle, Bunyan, Tyro, Tim Payne, now runs the whole show.
Come on, a hat-trick would be quite entertaining now, wouldn't it?
It would bring the lols. Durban Oak, unlike this from Durban Oak, it's a bit of a dad joke. What do you call a chameleon that stops changing colour? A reptile dysfunction.
Oh, please.
Didn't we used to have a £1 fine for terrible jokes?
Yes. Well, Leach, hat-trick ball. How many times are you going to get test hat-trick in your life? Come on, my man. Do it right now, just for the bear. Come on. Around the wicket. Tosses it up, flat. Ooh, straight out the middle of the back pattern. There is a silly mid off. There is a slip. There is a short leg. I think there's a leg slip as well, isn't there?
They might pull one out now. It's not the hat-trick ball.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't mind if he gets another one this over. That makes life really interesting. Labuschagne is chuntering away. That's flat and too flat, too short.
Do you know what? I don't blame him, and I'm not.
No, I don't blame him either. I mean, in the old days, you'd have to take it, but nowadays, with so many cameras and extra close-ups, that was defended. That was too short wide again. No run. Next ball, fourth ball of the over, tossed up. That's better. Pops off the top near the splice, near the sticker. It's in the air for a little bit. Keeps sitting off in the picture for a while, but it bounces just before he can grab it with his hand.
And that was one more point against the argument I've heard occasionally that we should go back to letting players decide and say, yes, I caught it. Half the time they don't even know, and they're always going to claim it.
Well, that's true. That's too flat. You've got to give it some air, my man. Give it some air, especially if you've got those close fielders in. He's got a slip and a gully and a sitting mid off and a short leg. You want to give that air, give it a chance to kick off the surface. And if it doesn't, it's going to be easy to defend. But if it does, it can catch anything and fly anywhere. 10.1 overs minimum remaining. We've got till 20 past, so they can go beyond.
There's only half an hour though till 20 past.
Well, no, so that's it. It's 20 past or 10 overs.
But,
so they
have the later or the earlier?
Whichever happens last. So if they've only bowled 9 overs by whatever
so
the cut-off
the 20
time
past 7 is completely notional then?
Not completely, no, because if you bowl 10 overs and you've still got 4 minutes left till 20 past 7, you get the extra.
No one bowls 10 overs in half an hour.
Well, no, they don't, but they try, and that's especially in club cricket, that's notionally possible. You think of those last hours where you've actually trying to get 24 overs and you've got a couple of decent spinners.
Luckily I haven't had to go through that for a while. No. Peter Lloyd echoes what I says. The good thing that isn't going to materially affect the over wicket. And Jay Grover says, because we love those charming little madeleines which make the game so great. What's a madeleine? Anyone?
Well, I think of a tasty little French cake, but I don't know about you.
I thought you were going to say something different after tasty little French.
Yes. I wondered where you were going with that.
Guided down to backward point, and there's one. Madeleines, they're very sweet, and they're kind of concave, cake-like substance. They're nice.
Concave cakes.
Concave? Convex? They're kind of...
Leah says
kind of like a boat.
We can't play till 7:30 because the egg and bacon crowd is wasted on gin and tonic by 6 p.m. Well, cricket is played at other grounds than Lords. And Jay says you had £1 fine for terrible jokes, which one of you's been propping up the Greek economy. We would have had a lot of pounds to be fair if we'd kept that going. Yes.
Do you know what? If for any reason these wickets were now to tumble, Australia would quite rightly point the
that would be that would be brilliant.
There would be a lot of bad blood.
Hang on.
Especially as we put their best batsman in hospital. That one jumps at pain. I mean, this is the good thing. I mean, Archer, when he can bowl at a new batsman, I guess you kind of get a bit used to it, although obviously Smith didn't yesterday. He didn't like that, though, did he? It crashed into his hand. I think Langer will shut up about we'll see what Archer's like after this.
Yeah. Well, he'll just start on something else, though.
He may well do.
And you know what these people are like. He's not going to say, "Oh, I was wrong. I take that back." He's just going to go on to the next thing.
Yeah, he is. But everyone else will be pointing out to him, rightly so.
Yeah, but these people don't care.
Well,
in fact, they like that you're engaging with them at all.
No, but they don't like to be wrong.
Yeah, but again, they just brush it off and pretend this never happened.
Yeah, they do, but it gets it.
It seems to be a quite heavily leg side field for Jack Leach, doesn't it?
Well, Jack Leach, don't you mean Tim Payne?
No, I meant
bloody hell, he didn't know what was going on there to Tim Payne. He went back as if he was going to defend it, then sort of pulled his bat away in no man's land, and fortunately for him, it bounced over the top of probably middle and off.
I did mean Tim Payne.
Through the keeper, and there's no run.
Yeah, Jay tells us that was a Proust reference. I like to be quite literary, but even that's over even my head.
Proust? What, the Madeleine thing?
Yes.
No, see, Madeleine's a cakey biscuit thing. Comes in packets from John Lewis.
This just reminds me of when I said that Gerard Huber jingle was actually the theme from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Well, he attempts to pull that. Don't know why. No need to play at it, really.
Because he's a compulsive puller. That's why there's a big leg side field.
Well, that's true. Plus, he's going to bowl into his ribs and try and get him to do something.
It's been a consistent plan by England to Tim Payne to try and get him to tuck up with short, but still play the pull shot.
Try and tuck him up real good.
Tuck him up real good.
Here comes Archer. in, bowls, another short ball, ducks underneath this time, Payne.
Bounce, 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 bounce.
Did I say these
Bounce.
people? Jay says Andy quotes these people.
What people?
I don't know. I meant us, if anything, if I said that.
Could be. This conversation seems to be running round in circles. From
Absolutely.
Marcel
They do
Proust to
sometimes, yeah.
convex French cakes.
Tasty cakes.
At which point I rather lost where we were going with it anyway.
As is common with Proust, apparently, though I'd never read any of it myself.
Never any Proust either. Archer in, last ball of his 13th over. Ooh. Is there going to be a pill? There's a pill for that. Go upstairs. He's out. It was played to short leg. He luzzed it at the stumps and they hit the stumps. But,
John Wilson will be just putting on his big jam jar glasses to try and work out what happened.
Taking out... No, can I say taking out his white stick and tapping it on the video screen to see if it's out or not? Well, I just said it now, I suppose.
You have indeed. And Payne survives that. No run.
And the happy smiles from that Australian balcony have just etched themselves into concerned looks
I'll
now.
be taking the positives, though. Look, mate. That's probably racist.
Nah, you can take the piss out of Australian accent. Jack Leach is going to continue. Bonnet over the wicket to head. He's got same field as a short leg. That one is outside his off stump and it goes to slip. There's a short leg gully, leg slip. I'd say leg gully actually, not too fine, it's quite square. There's a slip and a silly mid off. GPL is lost. Messages, you haven't won. Ooh, that's too flat. This is the problem when he does this. It's a little too flat. I think you've got to give that a little
What
bit
does
of
that
air.
leave the pot for the next test though?
£102, £103.
Imagine what you could do with £102.
You only have to wait till Thursday
Indeed.
to have another go.
It's too flat. If he misses that, it's plumb LBW, however. Turns into his pads and head clips it down to deep backward square leg, where he gets himself an easy single. You've got to give that little bit of air. You've got to give it a chance to kick.
According to Roger Melly, someone edited Joel Wilson's Wikipedia page during the first test, saying he was blind, just like I just said. And he says the umpire is adamant on proving the fan right. I think he was on that decision.
Yeah, it's odd when you've got replays.
Absolutely beyond me how he gave that out.
Again, maybe it's letter of the law, the whole thing. See, he's giving flight to Payne, and there's no one back. So that's going to be 4 runs. Payne gets an easy 4 runs as he nicely drives that up past mid-on. It's a good shot.
Dr. Leone explains for us Madeline's both a cakey biscuit and also a symbol of unintentional nostalgia in Proust's remembrance of things past.
En recherche de temps perdu.
That's the one.
Indeed.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Padded away by Payne, no run as the Leach comes back over the wicket. 2 slips, silly mid off, and a short leg.
Well,
the Monty Python team of philosophers.
Yeah. They summarise Proust in 15 seconds competition.
Oh yeah. Ooh, padded away again.
Can do that all day because he's pitching outside the leg stump, isn't he?
You don't see anything like that on TV nowadays. You know, the team of philosophers, each playing football in the style of their philosophy.
Yeah,
I think would fly over a lot of people's heads these days. These people, mine as well, probably. Jay says Madeline's were the taste that put Mary Sue Proust into his memory, which lasted several thousand very dull pages. That's the only thing I know about Proust. Is his books were very, very long. Hence Monty Python's summarised Proust in 15 seconds competition.
Okie dokie. Minimum overs remaining 8. England require 5 wickets in 8 overs. It's doable.
Well, it has happened. It has happened. I took 5 for 6 in 2 overs once.
Well, there you go. I've taken 4 wickets in an over. Archer in. Bowls to head, who clips out on the leg side. There isn't anyone out on the leg side, so... but clearly Payne doesn't really want to face Archer.
No,
that was an easy single.
Doesn't go back.
And he turned down head.
Just to even things out, by the way, Australia need 123
in 8 overs.
in 8 overs.
Yeah, they should go for it. Give it a go, you mugs.
Yeah, with
There
5 wickets in
are,
hand.
if you had Chris Gale or if you had...
Well, the field's up.
There's a few
Yeah, but it
who
doesn't
could
have
be
to
stride into the crease.
Down leg side. Oh, I thought he clipped that through to the keeper for a minute. But no, he's clipped it down to long leg where Leach is fielding.
I was going to say he's looking a little weary, but that was still best part of 90 miles an hour.
Yeah. I don't think he has to put much effort in to get it up there. That's the great thing about it. It's quite economical.
Good news for you here, Bear.
Yep.
Adam Kite says, I can bring you some authentic French madeleines on Friday. Flying from Bordeaux to Gâteau and passing through London.
Oh, wow, that's a vicious, vicious delivery. And Payne jabs his head back. He gets out of the way of it. Bairstow can't catch it.
Bounce.
Exactly. Goes for 4 byes.
Bounce. And if you kids can't listen and you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary, crossing a boundary.
Now Bairstow needs some stilts to get that one.
Yeah.
You see, I blended 2 jingles there. I remember I'm the man who can't jingle.
Mixmaster Tony.
Mixmaster Tony. Get on the wheels of steel.
Lennox Lear says, I was recently asked if there was any sight in world cricket more disgusting than Langer being happy. I've since seen War smile. I guess you mean Steve.
I presume so. Ooh, that's into the ribs.
Played well.
Yeah, it was played well. Probably off the hands, though, I have a feeling.
It's like when
Into
Mr.
the ground,
Burns, when
short
Mr.
leg, no
Burns
run.
smiled and his jaw started cracking.
Yeah. Let's have a look again. Yeah, might have been bottom glove, maybe a bit of handle. Maybe
Trying to break a finger or two.
Yeah. Can't be pleasant facing this.
It's not a song. You've got to break a finger or two.
Archer. Oh, 7.2 overs remaining, so 1 ball left in this over after this.
Was that a slower ball? It looks like it may have been a slower ball.
I don't think so. I think it's just full. He's trying the short full thing, isn't he? It's not a bad ploy.
It's one of the more basic ones.
Yeah, it is.
But again, you just think, oh, maybe those couple of wickets just came that bit too late. But another one now.
Oh, and he's has attempted a pull.
Oh,
has he been caught? Oh my word, that is definitely out. That's a fucking amazing catch. And the happy hooker has hooked down mid-wicket's throat. He was the only man out there. There's 2 men in short on the leg side. There's a leg slip. There's a bloody 2 slips. City mid off. Short leg. And that is absolutely an astounding catch. He hasn't got over it. He's the only man out there mid-wicket. Diving one-handed. That's Joe Denley, the man who let a poor 4 through from Broad earlier. But that is an absolutely stunning catch. He's dived to his left one-handed and just plucked it out of the air. Otherwise it was a certain 4. 6 wickets down, 7 overs left. Larry Shagney is punching more bloody lockers now.
Well, I think I should think Langer's punching a few lockers. Don't forget, that's the Australian captain playing a completely unnecessary pull shot.
Well, he is. He's a compulsive hooker.
Can you imagine what the stick and England captain would get for doing that? I mean, he's probably going to get it as well.
Well, I imagine the stick that I have given England when they've capitulated in such a fashion. In fact, I remember the first series we did when England lost to India. It might have well been at Lord's, and 7 wickets went down on the deep square boundary with 3 men out, and what's his name? Guy with the teeth. Ishant Sharma.
That narrows it down. Oh.
Ishant Sharma was bowling short stuff from around the wicket, and everybody, with about fucking half a day to save the match, they just kept happily hooking it straight down either long leg, deep mid wicket or deep squares. Fucking throat.
Well, this might keep Jofra interested.
Well, it might well do. Pat Cummins is at the crease. That was the last ball of the over, and we got 4 wickets to get. We got 7 overs remaining. Travis Head is still out there, and Leach is still bowling. That turns sharply. Now this is what I would just bowl kind of stock deliveries, trying to hit that patch. Now I wouldn't try anything. I'd give it plenty of air. Runs aren't really an issue now. I mean, that's a stunning catch. That's a really good catch.
Australia probably now going to have to try to manipulate this so Head takes as much of the bowling as possible.
Well, they probably
Shouldn't
will.
be too hard with these fields because you can just knock it somewhere and take one when you need to.
Indeed, Leach tosses that up. It's driven. That'll be 4 runs. There's no one in the outfield. There is a man at cover.
Super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, rocka, super shatter.
I think England have got the staff out, haven't they, to get the ball back in as quick as possible.
Like
it's one of those kind of days.
Tony Pulis's ball boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Ralph the Wonderlamp, and I agree, I almost had to pull my headphones on there. He says, Jesus, bear my ears.
Sorry,
Did channel
sorry,
Benson a little
couldn't
bit
believe
there.
that. I was just thinking, oh, there's 4 runs. And he plucked it out of the air. Head gets right on top of that. And is no run. I think
and there's some chat about Leach being the bald Vittori. I think it's Lennox Lear who's started that.
Well,
because of the glasses, I guess.
I think there's little pace left in the wicket unless you're Archer. It's not doing a lot. That turns back in, keeps a bit low, clips out to mid wicket, and there's no run.
Yeah, that's again a guy who's been out there an hour and a half can keep that ball out.
Yes.
A new batsman coming in 8 might get trapped by that one.
Absolutely, and that's why I would keep Leach on for the final 3 overs from this end. He's as likely to get a wicket as the pace guys are, isn't he? Something misbehaves. There's attempted stomach goes under the bat. Head's foot never. He's not serious. No, he's not going upstairs. His foot never left the crease.
Lubriton Sack says, guy with the teeth, George Formby. One for the kids there.
Ooh, it beat the outside edge though.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Kept low. And is it you gets annoyed by keepers taking the bails off?
I was a bit early on, but you might as well at this point.
Okay. You forgive it at the end of the game. Tossed up. Ooh, turns in. Probably a little bit of inside edge pad, but doesn't balloon up. Instead it goes into the ground. That is the over. 6 remaining, 4 wickets required.
Chance to jingle up the new batsman then.
Paceman Pat, and his baggy green cap. Early in the morning, just before the warm-up, he has to pull out with a dodgy back.
Patrick Cummins!
Well, strange things happen in cricket, don't they? Lavishagni gets a shit decision and suddenly it all starts to fall apart.
But let me just stress, this is a different level of shit decision. This is not a shit decision where an umpire's just got it wrong on first look and they've no reviews left. This is someone looking at it 5 times and still staggeringly coming up with the wrong decision.
Yeah, I have to agree.
It'd be very interesting to hear what Joe Root says about it afterwards.
Yeah, he'll platitude it.
Win or draw.
He'll platitude
he'll
it.
Say, I thought it was out. I thought I got my hand on it. Take it from me, I got my hand underneath it. What else are you going to say? Short and wide outside the off stump. And it's through the keeper and there's no
I'd
run.
like someone to say, well, yeah, I knew it wasn't out, but...
Well, you know, genuinely, in his mind, even looking at that, he's still going to say to you, I genuinely got my fingers under that. And
even when you can see it on a on a 50-foot screen, you can see that you haven't, and everybody can see it.
Well, he's going to say foreshortening of cameras and there's giving the grass, and I got my fingers underneath it.
I wish people would stop denying reality. It's how we're getting us where we are.
Well, yeah.
He would go up a mile. I mean, I have a lot of time for Go Root, but I would gain a lot of respect for him. He just said, "Yep," but I appealed for it and he gave it.
Yeah. Well, I said he was out. That's full. Yeah. I thought it hit his pads first. Ooh.
They got a single in the meantime.
Okay,
quick single to get
a lot happened there.
Yeah, okay.
There's a leg slip, there's a slip, there's a short leg, and there's a silly mid-off. I thought it came off the pads, but it came off the bat to Cummins. He glanced it, and it was aerial and just short a leg slip. Well, I think it's Joe. Yeah, it was an inside edge. It was Joe. No, it's Stokes there, who it bounced just before. It wasn't a catch, but he did half stop it, turned around. Then it looks like they went for a single. And
well, they did to get Head back on strike.
And Bairstow threw at the stumps and just missed, and it would have been close if that had hit.
No,
he would have been in. So Head made it through, but I'd fancy Leach to cause a bit of trouble to Cummins as well.
He's got to get him on strike though.
Yeah, well he will be if they can keep Head at the other end. Head, gets a nice short one. Gets nicely on top of it though. Plays it out to Gully, nods his head and appreciation, approval. I don't know. Admission of a good ball, respect for a good ball.
Linux Lear says Ishant Lords 2014 is one of my most cherished memories.
Who was that?
Linux Lear.
Yeah, it was. England just fucking gave it away, but it was a similar sort of thing. Everyone was just hooking it.
I remember that now. Ishant got 7 wickets.
He got 7 wickets, of which all were caught virtually. Oh, that's out! Short! Oh, I thought he gloved that.
It's not. He didn't.
He didn't. It must have come off the wicket then. I don't know what that did. It looked like it had done something extraordinary after it had gone past the bat. Slowed down.
Ralph the Wonder Llama searched his computer for a way to noise gate the bear. C249 says, can England request an extra half hour if they go 7 down? No, that's only with another day to play.
We don't need a noise gate. Why would we need a noise gate? Noise gates cuts out the underneath noise. What are you talking about?
Yeah, your joke is technically wrong.
Yeah. You're talking about limiters and compressors, my man, not
then
noise gates.
Then it might have been funny. They're going to get called no ball for 3 behind square if that short leg sticks his foot on the wrong
true.
side.
There's 2 short legs, and it goes to the second of them. Who's in front of square? I think it's Burns and Butler there. They've got a leg slip. And
that'd be great if England bowled the most village of no balls.
Yeah.
With 3 behind square.
Well, especially if it's caught too. I'm happy. I'm going to have to visit little boys when it's over and grab another beer.
They've got a leg slip, a sort of leg gully, and then short leg is about an inch in front of the line. And someone else is running in towards there.
Root's not captain too badly here. He's got 2 pairs of sunglasses on his head.
That counts for something.
Yeah, it does. Quality forehead. Short! Oh, that's hit on the elbow, hasn't it?
No, he batted.
Yeah, I think it did. I think
it did.
No,
he shaking his arm.
Hit on the back of it, on the point of the elbow. As he turned to let it go through. Like, I'm just going to go and,
Okay, so they're going to have a shot at Cummins this over because they weren't able to negotiate rotating the strike there. So Leach will be able to have a go at Cummins. It should be quite interesting.
It should be, yes.
Cummins is a right-hander though, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. They've run out now, I think, of left-handers. Steve Waugh, we're looking up on the balcony there with Marnus Labuschagne. Looks very young, doesn't he?
He does there, and his eyes are extremely close together. Not that that's anything wrong with that, it's just an observation.
It does, just makes him look younger.
Makes him look like Paul Wicker.
Well, without the bear, should we do a ball each?
Yeah, okay.
I'll take this one.
Okay.
That's going to be Patrick Cummins. He's got 4 men around the bat. Leach, the left arm around the wicket, pushed away into the onside. Stuart Broad jogs across in his floppy hat, and there's no run.
Yeah, almost trying too hard to bowl full then. It turned into a full toss. He's just got to get it just full of a length, I think. 2 slips and a silly point. That's dragged down a bit. Did turn, but Cummins was able to watch it turn and then play it down to point.
Minimum of 4.4 overs remaining.
4 wickets needed, all the 4s.
But, yeah, 154 for 6. 4 wickets needed. Leach is in, gives this some air. But Cummins is very resolutely forward to push this back to the bowler, and again there's no run.
Yeah, I'd like to see that kind of flight, but just the length dragged back just a little bit slower. See what he does with this one. Yeah, about there, but Cummins is able to let it go, and even though it did come on a bit with the arm, it never really threatened off stump.
It needs to be straight, doesn't it?
He needs to bowl some wonder balls, pitch on leg, hit the top of off. That's all.
Well, he needs another one of those ones that was the Bancroft. It just kept low off a decent line.
Good news, Jay's T-shirt has arrived. He's
Sweet!
Now the best dressed man in Butcher's Works.
Nice. That's defended. That's too flat. You've got to hang it up there as well. You've got to tempt the man to think, oh, maybe that's drivable. Just put a little thought in his mind, and then it might pop up as well. But if you bowl it too flat, that's a better. That just a little bit shorter, but that's the end of the over. Well defended by Cummins.
Pirate Badshaw says, take a chill pill, Bear. Ralph the Wonder Llama says, you are all bastards and I hate you.
Why?
You still, because we were making fun of his joke.
We were somewhat dismissing his theory.
Messi Jez missing synonym is his Twitter name. We're missing you too, Jez. Is there a bear silencer available? And Leah says, okay then buy in caps. Okay then buy a fucking limiter. The neighbours start to get annoying. Well, you're shouting at us in caps now. So.
Well, you are, but the thing is, the limiter isn't going to stop it from getting any louder. The limiter limiters what goes on the desk, right? Which is never peaking out, even when we're shouting. That goes through to a computer that is never overloading because the level never even gets up above about halfway on a broadcast to tune in. So even if I got a limiter and put it on that desk, it's still going to come out as loud, people. You put a limiter on to stop it overloading.
I just saw Joe Denley hand his cap there.
Is he going to have a
desperation
bowl?
Joe Denley is coming on.
Yeah.
Ooh, a desperation
Maybe
bowl.
they feel that after that catch, he could do anything.
He wanted to, like when Michael Clarke took 6 for 9. It's a bit like that.
Who was that against?
India?
I think it was, wasn't it? in India, wasn't it?
Yeah. Farong is in Dhaka. Hello. I think he means Jofra. What rating would you give Jofra on his debut? Farong's given him an 8.5. He has pace, needs to use the crease, doesn't move the ball much, but he moves it enough, I think.
Yeah, he does.
This is the man who's going to bowl.
Joe Denley, he's almost as old as the...
And that's turned into... They've got a forward short leg, they've got a square short leg, and they've got a leg gully.
Joe Denley, he's also a part-time bowler. He can do leg spin, but he's no Ravi Ashwin.
I've been told they can't bowl pace anymore. Okay, the light.
Because of the light?
Because of the light, one presumes.
Oh, well, that's...
Well, that's it. It's Joe Denley or Joe Root and Leach. There's 3.4 overs left. They've got to get 4 wickets, something drastic.
Don't forget Jofra Archer can bowl leg breaks.
That's
and
true.
left arm spin.
Maybe they should get him on. That'd be quite interesting, actually.
It'd be funny if he took the last 3 wickets bowling spin.
Bowling left arm spin.
The genius. That one's defended out in the offside and there's no run. 3 overs left. It's going to go down to wire. They're not going to call it off now, one presumes. That's played out to cover and there's no run.
Emma Vernon enjoying the Paceman Pat jingle. Says easing the tension. I don't think it's really all that tense.
I hope you're enjoying it more than Middlesex's performance
We've got a wicket
today.
now, though. We all get tense again, wouldn't we? But that's driven out to cover
really.
and there's no run. If Head got out, I'd be quite...
2 wickets, I'd be excited. 2 wickets in the next 2 balls, I'll be excited.
2 wickets in the next over, you'll get excited. But 2 overs left, 2 wickets required. Especially if it was all the batsmen. That was not turning out the rough. And who's missing it is Joe Denley. And it's played square on the offside and there's no run.
Well, I remember 3 overs left. One of my favourite, probably my favourite game I've ever played. Not least because I scored runs, but even after that, we got 310, and they were 304. No, they were 302 for 4 with 3 overs left, and it was a time game, so we even have to bowl them out to win, and we did.
Oh, nice.
Got the number 11 off LBW off the last ball.
Ah, cool.
Bowled them out for we won by 2-3 runs or something.
Oh, that's cool.
That was amazing because they were 300 for 4 with one guy on 100 and one guy on like 95 who'd just been batting brilliantly.
Gone both out.
Gone both out somehow, and then again, much like Joe Denley, a sort of part-time leg spinner took 4 wickets.
There you go. Leach tosses it up.
Ooh, was that a chance?
I think it was a chance. It's Rory Burns. It might have been a bump ball, don't know. I'll have a look at the replay, but it was a defender straight to Burns. No, that's not the right angle, is it?
Yeah, can't see anything there.
Can't see anything, except for it did carry. But the question is, they're always hard. I mean, you're at 3-4 feet.
Well,
away.
remember the days when half the time that was all you'd see anyway. The wicket-keeper's arse when the spinner's bowling.
That's true. That's defended into the ground. Burns is right in his eye line at silly mid-off. Let's have a look. You can't really see there either.
I think that's a chance, yeah.
I think it is a chance, you know. They'll have a stick or they don't. Leach around the wicket. Tossed up in the air. Got to get it on line. Got to make him play. Doesn't. And it's through the keeper. No run. 3 balls left in the over.
Ben Crouch says, I like your little beard. Who's is that? It's not me anyway. It's one of you two.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ben.
Save Withy Bush Hospital says, I like bear shouting, so there's +1.
Thank you. I don't shout that often. But the whole point is that we get excited. Oh, padded? No, there's an appeal. Fuck off. That's going
review
over.
anyway, if you've got review left.
Well, you might as well, exactly. He does review.
I've seen worse reviews. I mean, it is turning past off stump.
Well, was it? I mean, the other thing I did think was maybe it was a little bit of an arm ball or a kind of seamer where it might be swinging back. It did hit him in line, I think. I think it probably hit him in front of middle and off stump. I don't know.
It had
chances are it's not out. Let's be honest.
No.
I'm trying to be optimistic.
It's Joel Wilson, so that gives it a bit more chance of something random happening.
He sees things that no one else does. No, it's a normal spinner as well. And it's pitched on about off stump.
No,
it's hit him outside off stump. It's missing. We won't have a review left now.
Oh well, indeed. Had one the other Sunday when our excitable bowler bowling left arm round. It's not out. It's pitched on.
It's hit him outside about a 5th stump
and gone past 7th stump.
It has.
But why not?
Set.
Why not?
Why not?
Come on to my story in a second.
Leach. 2 balls left in this over, plus 1 more over for him. England require 4 wickets in 14 balls. What have they got till 24 minutes past, haven't they?
No, but I thought you said they were going to bowl the overs whatever.
Well, they're going to bowl but if they bowl them within the time, they can get another over. That's pitched outside.
They can't
leg
do
stump.
that.
Well, no, I wouldn't have thought so. Especially if they appeal.
So anyway, this game was playing the other Sunday. Overexcitable bowler, left arm round, batsman about 3 yards down the wicket. Hits him in front of the middle stump. He's the only one who goes up. 15-year-old umpire gives the batsman out.
Well, you never know. Could be. That's the sort of thing I do.
15-year-old Joel Wilson.
Yeah, defended to a slightly deeper set, Silimidov, who's behind Silimidov. Everyone's around the bat. That ends the over. There's no run.
But he defended himself by saying, let me get this right, he said, I've had closer shouts than that given not out. And he goes, well, yes, because they weren't out either.
Was the guy charging down the track or just putting his pad out?
He did walk down the track, yeah. He just walked down the track like you do sometimes, and yeah, just...
Well, it might well have been going on and hit the stumps.
Well, it wasn't. I was at slip.
Okay. Driven out to cover.
And
by head, and there is no run.
It was a bit embarrassing because you can't really call him back for that, but they had brought one of our batsmen back after smashing it into his pad and being given out.
Ooh, beats the outside edge of heads back, taken by Bairstow.
That's friendly cricket with players umpiring for you.
Well, it's a problem with players umpiring. He's not really hitting the seam, that's the thing. I don't know what Joe Denley's doing, but he's not really rotating the ball from the seam. It sort of floats around in the air. That one doesn't hit the seam either. It just gets paid back to him. There's no run. Don't rate him much as a bowler, Denley. I suppose he doesn't rate himself that much. I think he considers himself a bit of a part-timer. Maybe Shane's chewing away on his nails. That's tossed up, driven out past mid-off. Don't get a single. And Broad will field.
Right, Adam Kite says give Butler and Bairstow an over each. Whoever beats the bat most gets to keep next test.
Oh, that's a good thought.
Ben Crouch is going a bit off topic, and I'll just let him go.
That's defended square on the offside, out to point, and there is no run.
Jay Grover says I once was in a physical altercation with a physicist because he thought I was incorrectly applying Boolean algebra to a biological problem. Jay says he was actually talking about moomins. These science types have flighty temperaments. I don't know if you heard me say the one where one of our batsmen was bowled by a full toss, and the square leg umpires on our team gave a no ball. It's coming in.
Driven out past cover. There's no one out in the outfield. Broad has to chase it down.
He's chasing
it.
He
suddenly realised it's not going to get to the boundary, and he can catch up with it, so he does. I don't know how many he run. 2.
They might not have got any.
Did they run 2 or they ran 3?
I'm not sure they ran any. He might have run 1 to get head back on strike.
Yeah, they might well have done.
Anyway, we then got an email from the other team the next day explaining the physics of why it couldn't be a no ball, which was completely wrong and full of bullshit physics. So there you go. And
they're putting a line meter on the stumps now.
Stumps going back.
Yeah,
one over to go.
Oh no, they're going to. Well, could take 4 wickets last over.
Exactly, but they're not going to. And at the end of the over, it'll be 24 minutes past, and that'll be it. What's the time on that computer clock?
The computer clock says 1921.
Okay, 3 minutes left. So
which I think was the year it was bought.
Well, possibly.
Yes, that's right.
Or the pace of its
the
fucking
year
processor.
most of the Lord's the MCC members are still living in.
And if we get this over done in 2 minutes, then they'll get another one. And Cummins is facing up.
Everyone's
around about. It's crazy. I'm going to describe this because you never get to see this and that.
Get that field.
Describe this field. 2 slips, gully, silly mid off, silly point, short leg, and a leg slip and a leg gully.
No, they've got Broad left out of the party at mid-on.
Broad's at mid-on. He's the man in the outfield who has to go chasing shit. Well, they need 4 and 5, and they're not going to get 1 off that one. As it's playing into leg side and there's no run. Cummins is defending. If they give it a big cheer after this,
yeah, that's so Village.
That would be big Village. I mean,
people do that in time. That's the absolute icing on the cake.
I mean, this isn't really that close, is it? I mean,
terrible time.
They could have called this off an hour ago.
When they cheer when you need n-1 wickets with n balls left.
Ooh, plays that into the leg side and there's no run, and that's it.
It should
barring
be it.
run outs. Forward.
Pat Cummins doesn't want to lose his wicket and his
the bells
average,
are
and that is it. Yes.
Yes, I was going to say 3 balls and only 4 wickets required. Yeah, that's the one. You can definitely call it off then. You can't win unless you get a... Well,
no, you can't lose 2 wickets on 1 ball. The only way they can win is someone comedically gets retired hurt.
Well, you can get a run out off a no ball.
Yeah, but... Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can. Or someone gets retired hurt and then they bowl the ball and then get 3 wickets. So I think they should be playing on at this point, yeah.
Yeah, a match drawn. It was the obvious conclusion. England had a chance. They did the right thing, I think. They batted on. They got to after lunch. They gave it a bit of a crunch. They gave them a reasonable target, 267. I mean, the chances were Australia were never going to actually chase it, but they gave themselves 48 overs to try and get 10 wickets. The wicket was quite responsible, a new ball, but it's not been, it's quite dead when the ball's old. Leach came into it. There's rough outside. The leg stump to the right hander and the off stump to the left hander. He's bagged himself 3 wickets, didn't he, Leach?
Yep.
Archer got the other 2, opening up with extreme pace. Hit Labuschagne, got hit, bumped, and sconed on the first ball that he faced. Didn't go down, but it hit him square in the grill.
Yeah.
Got himself a new helmet and carried on, and to his credit, got 59 runs. Was given out dodgily, we all think here.
I'm not going to say dodgy or controversial. It's just 100% wrong.
Well, he was given out, so he was out anyway.
Wrongly.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 for 37, Jack Leach.
Okay, 3 for 37, Jack Leach. So he swept. He clipped one into the thigh pad.
I think it was a sweep.
Butler.
I think it was a sweep.
Yeah,
it came off short leg. Yeah.
Came off short leg. It was Butler. Ballooned up. Root came in, claimed the catch. It looked to us for all the world that it bounced before. On the half volley that Root caught it. It was given out by the umpire on the field, and therefore, as I argued in the VAR sense, it stayed with the umpire. There was no, Andy would clearly argue there was incontrovertible evidence that it wasn't out.
Not out.
Yes, clearly the umpire. Joel Wilson didn't think so.
There's again, however you try to nail down rules and laws and replays, there's always going to be a little grey area somewhere. As in, I thought it was incontrovertible. Obviously, Joel Wilson didn't. Seeing the same pictures. So there you go.
So it was given out, which then opened the door actually and got quite interesting, didn't it? Matthew Wade didn't last long. He was caught at short leg, Butler by Leach, and then Tim Payne, the happy hooker, hooked Archer, and there was an amazing catch by Denley. It all started kick off. There was 3 quick wickets, and then it all settled down again really. And there was only 5 overs left, and it dribbled out to a draw. That was the most likely outcome.
Definitely a big minus for the Australian captain getting out like that in that situation. Not a great example to set.
I think England will get, good stead out of this.
Yeah, it's as I said before, it's a moral victory, and it's now 1-1 in the moral Ashes.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it's still 1-0 in the real Ashes.
Well, they didn't want to go out of here 2-0 down, and when they got bowled out for 258, we all thought, we wondered how we were going to get Steve Smith out. Well, it seems to be knock him out. And then he doesn't get how to play the next game because he's got concussion. So Australia will be minus Steve Smith.
That's not. I still don't think that's guaranteed.
I think. No, I don't think it's guaranteed, but I think it's highly likely.
Highly likely.
I would say medically, in the modern era, if he goes in there, he'll get that. Australia rightly, maybe wrong. I don't know if you think rightly or wrongly. I think even Australian press will give them shit. This is someone's health. In the modern era, this is someone's life you're dealing with. Bearing in mind what happened to other people in the past with concussion and the concussion rules in all the other sports now, it would seem insane that he gets to play 3 days later.
Well, just to clarify something, I think we said earlier on that Cricket Australia had ruled him out. They hadn't. They'd ruled him out of this game, not the third test.
That's
and
right.
The last I read on the BBC was that they were going to assess it the day before.
Exactly.
Listen, he goes into that test at Headingley.
I agree
with a grey cloud over his head. Yeah. Archer comes in, scones him again. There'll be a lot to be said.
A lot to answer for.
And there's no way. Whenever he comes back, the first bowler who's bowling at him is going to be Archer, and the first ball he gets is going to be quick and short.
Well,
anyway, shall we wrap up?
Yeah, I'll do some tweets. Well. Ralph the Wonder Llama says, thanks folks, high quality, high volume entertainment as ever. I don't really hate you. Well, not much anyway.
Thanks for that. It's alright. You can hate us if you like anyway.
Leah says that as long as you're still listening, you can think what you like. Leah says that field looks like some last over in a Ranji game.
Jay as well says, thank you all very much. Cleansed my brain of Nazism with your excellent commentary.
Right, thanks. That's good to know.
And I look forward to wearing my shirt with pride. Yes, do so. And you can still, of course, get all of our fantastic Guerrilla Cricket merchandise on our website. He also adds that incontrovertibly, Joel Wilson is a Muppet.
Yeah, it does seem that way. But he's not in charge for when they changed the umpires at some point. After these two games,
relegated to the Ranji Trophy.
No, because I think it's neutral umpire. Ray Erasmus comes in, doesn't he? And somebody, a new team comes in for the last 3 tests, I think.
It's been a fantastic match, though. It's excited, it's enthralled, it's entertained, and it was really only in the last 2 hours that you felt it really wasn't quite going to be anything other than a draw.
Yeah, and then we got a brief. Another hope, didn't we, those three
just enough to keep it going.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
If Labuschagne hadn't been given out, then we'd have all probably quit about half an hour ago. But there you go.
But it is done, and we're going to be back on Thursday, aren't we?
Yeah, we are going to be back on Thursday. It's a quick turnaround here. Then we'll have 10 days off after that. Nice.
Indeed, there'll be another Guerrilla Share podcast for send it out your way. I think probably on Friday as week. Well, during that Test match.
Okie dokie.
And we shall see you on Thursday.
Good news is, if you pick that up on Patreon, you can now download it again. And Adrian Lowe says, top job, chaps. Thanks, Adrian.
Indeed. And are we out? We're out.
Yep,
Tweets,
we're
out with
yep,
everything. It's been
it.
a good game, if rain affected. We'll see you on Thursday. It's good night from us.